Charlie and Mike. Charlie and Mike. Talk about it. Tell the truth. God and country in the booth. We stand strong. We hold the line. Won't shut up. Not this time. Hands on heart, eyes up high. We were made to testify. Charlie and Mike. Charlie and Mike. God and country. We stand right. Truth on fire. We won't hide. USA. USA. Side by side. Let them hear us. Clear and loud. One small voice can move a crowd. Charlie and Mike. Charlie and Mike. God and country. We stand right. Truth on fire. We won't hide. USA. USA. Side by side.
Start it again.
I don't know what the problem is with that. Oops, sorry. Good morning. Good evening. Hello. I don't know what the problem is. The sound started but then dropped. So I'm gonna have to
Try it again. Just when all else fails, reboot.
Well,
Just
that's what I have
remove
to do. I'm gonna have to
Because they had Marjorie Taylor Greene in there, so I wanted to see it.
yeah, it's good, but the problem is
It's good.
the sound's not sounding. And
Try it. Try it again. I'll bet it will work this time. This time for Scherzies.
It won't work.
Jerseys.
I have to reload it. I just unloaded it, so give me a minute. Anyways, you start the show off while I'm doing this.
Hello, my friend. I am Charlie Simons, and that's Mike Cook, and we talk about it. That's what we do every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Every Tuesday, 5 Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and everything else in between. And the chat room is open. Thank you for joining us over there. That's always fun. We have no idea sometimes how the show is going to go. Mike compiles stuff, and I bring stuff, and we just share our lives, and it has been working. It's been nice. Hey, Mike just got some kind of nice little nod from Rumble, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't have that queued up, but yeah, they said I'm top. No, it wasn't from Rumble. It was from StreamYard. I'm
StreamYard.
Top 5% on StreamYard for viewership for minutes viewed this month. Top 5% on StreamYard. Now, a lot of people use StreamYard. Dan Bongino, Benny Johnson, they use StreamYard. They're probably top 1%. I'm just saying. So it's
congratulations. That's cool.
A pretty big spread between top 5% and top 1% in the amount of viewers.
The significance of that is what we called in the radio and television business as TSL, time spent listening or time spent viewing. And you want the longer you can keep people watching or listening, the better it is for advertisers to want to be on your show, because they'll go, hey, this guy's keeping people longer. We want to advertise on there. It's all about money. Every single bit of it boils down to money, unless you're some goofball like me, like going, I'm just doing it because I love it. It's my ministry. Um,
You know, when they say it's my ministry, that means that they're broke.
That's exactly right. So, did you get that queued up yet, or do you want me to tell you my story about what happened right before we went on the air?
I got it queued up if you want to go that route, whichever way.
Okay, go for it.
Let's see if it'll play this time. I don't know. I don't know why it's not playing. All right. That just makes me mad.
Is that how you got your top award with StreamYard? Was that kind of action right there? Congratulations! Wow. Okay, here's the deal. Ever since I got back from my duty, my tour of duty, being a public affairs officer for the Army State Guard and covering the officer candidate schools graduation, just taking photos and shooting video. And I got a really nice little attaboy from my commanding officer, which is always nice because he's not always all that free with compliments. So that was nice. And I came back, and it's just been a whirlwind of one thing after another, after another, after another. And it hasn't stopped. And a lot of it is me. I built a career when I was all those years on the radio of just being real and telling you about ridiculous things that would happen to me. That was always a big part of my show. I can't believe this happened with so-and-so. And then it would turn into a whole discussion of people going, yeah, that happened to me. And here's one thing. Here's what you should have done, that kind of stuff, you know. So I live an hour and a half away from my ailing mom. So when I got back from duty, I came here to help her with yard and pay the bills and do all that kind of stuff. I'm finally so excited I'm going to get to go back home and sleep in my own bed. And it's been now at this point almost 2 weeks, right? And I get up there and realize that I have left behind my medicine that I just started taking. And it's cost me $240 for this medicine. And I can't just go to the CVS and replace it. It's this peptide thing, and I'm taking these shots and all this stuff. For the first time ever in my life, I'm having to mix this stuff and needles, whole deal.
You know, I know a place where you can get the peptides and not take the shots, but I'm just saying.
Do you?
Oral, yeah, oral peptides. But then go ahead with your story.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll have to talk. So anyway, I get all the way home, and I had several things I had to do that day. And then I'm just about to go home. Finally, I'm so excited. I got Spike with me now, my dog. Everything's good again. We're going to get back to semi-normal. And I realized I left my medicine in my mom's refrigerator. So I had to drive all the way back down here. And that's where I am now. That's why it looks different, obviously. I had to drive back down here. And my mom's having a particularly bad day. Tried to take her to the senior center for lunch with the caretaker that's helping her. And a lot of screaming, a lot of wailing, a lot of gnashing of teeth, and not having a good day. And so I'm trying to get this rush job done. I got all my duties with the Army done. Okay, great. And I had a rush job on this show that had to be on today because it's covering an event that's tomorrow that I want to tell you about. Because if you're anywhere near Northern California, Sacramento, the capital of California, I want to encourage you to go to this. So I'll tell you about that. So rush show, and it's right up to the wire. And I look at the clock, and we got 25 minutes before we start the show. I'm like, I gotta get in there. And so I bring my computer in, I get it all set up, and I'm about to log on, to join Mike, to join you here on the air. And I'm thinking, I'm going to take a pee break. I got to feed my dog Spike. So I fed him. I got to do a pee break because mostly our shows go 2.5 hours long sometimes. And I drank a lot of iced tea today. So it seemed like a good idea. I had my pocket filled with my phone. And because there's women in the house, I'm concerned about putting the seat back down. So I leaned forward, put
I
the
see where this is going.
seat down. Guess where it landed?
Note to self.
Urine phone. So I didn't know. I was like squealed like a little girl. Ah, what happened? It's dropped right into a bowl full of pee. I grab it as quickly as I can. I'm like, this is horrible. I rinse it off. I don't know what else to do. I try and rinse it off. I avoid the place with the holes down on the bottom, which of course, unfortunately, is what dropped into the pee. And I turned it off immediately after I dried it. Well, this phone has already been through so much hell, and I use it like crazy. And I'll tell you what, I can tell you the Samsung, the day that I paid it off, the very next day, dropped it. That happened. Can you see all that? It's like a whole maze. Look at that. This is what I did to it. Here's how disastrous the front is. The phone case that I had purchased for it, that had already broken. So I've been carrying it around like this. I need a new phone, my friends. And I was supposed to be using it tomorrow to conduct interviews, my P phone at the Sacramento State Capitol building.
Well, put it in the rice.
I don't know if it'll,
maybe it'll come back to life.
now I've heard from people who've had to drink their own urine when they're stranded out in the desert that it's sterile. But it doesn't matter. It's still a liquid, isn't it? And it doesn't belong inside electronics.
Well, last time I checked, it doesn't. Yes.
I'm not quite sure if it's going to work.
Like I said, put it in rice. It draws the moisture out.
Really?
Yep.
Just drop it in rice.
Yep. Put like a little. Then you can stick it in your refrigerator because your refrigerator draws moisture out. So you put it in rice, put it in your refrigerator.
In the crisper with the celery.
Yeah. No, you probably want it in the regular part of the refrigerator so it'll draw the moisture out. It'll either work or it won't.
This Samsung, I will get another one because I have truly worked this phone almost to death. And I'm about to start it up for the first time since I dropped it in the bowl of pee. Here we go.
So you're going to
so far, so
start it up
good.
now?
I am. I'm starting it right now. So
like
far,
it's
so
working.
good.
Well, you can
My
say that
Samsung
phone's a
Galaxy.
pisser.
This is the S21 that I have here. Of course, I'm with Verizon, and I wish I weren't. So far, so good, buddy.
So Elon Musk just come out and said that it'll be 2 years from now, but they're launching their own cell phone with the satellites. So 2 years from now,
I'm
we can
in.
all get. Yeah,
I would be in.
considering it.
Yeah, I'm in. No more having to worry about cell and not getting signal, and no more having to worry about. There it is. Look at it. It's working. You know what that background is, by the way? That's my 1958 T-Bird hood ornament.
Sweet.
That's what that is.
They say in the comment section, dry rice, not cooked rice. LOL. Just letting you know.
It's amazing how well y'all have gotten to know me in such a short period of time.
That rice would be some pissy rice.
That's probably what I would have done. Here's some leftover rice. Somebody let it in the refrigerator. I'll just use this.
I probably won't draw the moisture out. That's the point.
I'm so excited that it's still working. My P phone. Now,
But
the first time
my wife has
And
saved
I-
a couple phones that way.
how am I going to feel when I put this up to my face and I realize it's the P phone? Anyway,
Trust me, as much bacteria and stuff there is on your phone, it won't make no difference. I'm
Won't
telling you,
make any
it's about the
difference, that's
grossest
right.
thing you know.
So
I see
that's
people,
been my
trying to get
that's
their
been
keys
my
out to their
life
car,
since.
they put-
What's that?
yeah, I see people trying to get their keys out to their car, and they put their phone in their mouth to hold their, like they're digging, like a lady's digging through her purse, puts her phone in her mouth. And I'm thinking to myself,
I've done that.
the only thing worse that you can put in your mouth is a dollar bill.
No, a hotel television remote is the worst thing you can put in your mouth.
Well, I imagine that would be bad too. Yeah, probably.
I have to turn off my
wonderful.
mind when I check into hotels because I can only imagine. I can only imagine
Yeah,
all the
don't bring a black.
DNA around me. I can only imagine.
Don't bring a black light.
Yeah, don't bring a black light. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to know. You just don't want to. All right, I think I got it queued up now where it's going to work. I tested it. It was.
It better be the best thing ever at this point.
Well, I don't know what the deal was. I had to dump it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We'll see if it works this time.
Speaking of dumping, P-phone. All right, go ahead. Let's roll it.
It's all one thing and two others, so we'll see what happens.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey y'all, it's me, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The girl who always looks like she just stepped out of a really hot shower and blow dries her hair with Joe Biden's farts. Well, after a long streak of completely self-inflicted disasters and not enough sales on Cameo, I've decided to diversify my income. Welcome to my OnlyFans!
Hurry up, Marjorie. Are you still gonna let me watch?
And for just $10 a month, you and my brand new husband can watch me and Thomas dig deep into some real hard-hitting issues.
You're gonna blur out my face though, right?
I'm talking full access, hardcore, unfiltered, long-form content every single month. Y'all get to see exactly how deep I'm willing to go. The camera stopped following me, so I dragged him into my living room and started charging admission. With my new OnlyFans account, you can watch me talk on the toilet, listen to me fart in my bedroom, and for an additional $10, I'll send you my new perfume, Foot Fungus.
I'd buy that for $1.
And for an additional $1, I'll throw in a free bottle of my signature Butt Whispers.
I'd buy that for $1.
So what brings you in today?
Well, I destroyed my reputation, lost my job, and now I need to make some money.
Well, you're not gonna make any here.
I'm not?
Have you tried applying for a job at Walmart?
Watch me apply 20 pounds of makeup, get a $100 haircut, and still get mistaken for Dog the Bounty Hunter. Life comes at you fast. 1 minute,
funny.
a politician making millions. The next minute, headlines disappear, and you're left recording videos in your bathroom, looking like Maxine Waters' foot, and asking strangers on the internet to smash that subscribe button.
I'd buy that for $1. I'd buy that for $1.
There you go. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene on the OnlyFans because she's trying to make a buck somewhere somehow. So.
At this point, I'm so disappointed in her completely all the way around that I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually a real deal.
Wouldn't shock you at all, huh?
No, not at this point, unfortunately. I also spent a lot of my day today trying to find something I wanted to share with you, and I was never able to, and it's really disappointing because I had uploaded it to this thing called SoundCloud, and I've never really used it since. It was like kind of the thing before you could go live on Facebook and so on. You had SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing YouTube then much, and I wasn't doing X, and so I uploaded this video I did with Dolly Parton, and it was the only time I ever got to interview her, and I was on a country station in Sacramento, 101.9 The Wolf, 101.9 The Wolf, and she was going to be in concert. Oh yeah, there was a lot of that. That's all country stations do is name themselves after animals and bugs, but she was going to be in concert that night in a town called Concord, which is in the Bay Area, what they call the East Bay, even though funny, it's nowhere near the Bay. But everybody wants to be associated with stupid San Francisco for some reason. And she was at the concert Concord Pavilion. I'd never seen her. And I was all excited to talk to her and a little bit starstruck and actually kind of nervous. And got word that she died today at the age of 80. And
yeah, I heard that too.
Dolly Parton is she was just a treasure to so many and so accomplished. And because she was on the country side of things, almost completely ignored by the rest of the world until she broke in Hollywood and that 9 to 5 and other things she did. And she did it well. What people forget about, too, is Dolly Parton was actually a songwriter, not just a performer, not just a pretty face, not just a great pair of heels. She was a songwriter. She wrote I Will Always Love You. She wrote that. She wrote the song 9 to 5. She wrote the song Code of
Mindy Colors. And that song, I Will Only Love You.
Always Love You, yeah.
It charted in 3 different genres.
3 times,
Country.
twice with her. Her version in 1974 hit the top on Billboard, and then in 1982 they re-released it, and then of course Whitney Houston in 92.
Yeah,
Re-recorded.
3 different genres. 3 different.
Yeah.
Because I think it's actually 4, because I think there's a rock version of it somewhere too.
Oh, is there?
So yeah, that song was a crazy song. So,
And she wrote that. She wrote that. Legend tells it. I had never heard those words come out of her mouth, and I wish I would have thought to ask her when I had her on the air. She wrote that for Porter Wagner, who gave her big break when she was like 18, 19. I was a kid the first time I saw Dolly Parton. And see, I spent so much time trying to find this online, my interview with Dolly Parton, because I wanted to just play it. And it wasn't that long, so we could have played it and just listened to it. It was just audio because I was on the radio. And she did not disappoint. Charming, funny as heck, calling me darling, honey, and sweetheart. So of course I was in love. And I told her the story about my first experience with Dolly Parton. Was at my grandparents' house, where they always watched the Porter Wagner show. Now, if you don't know who Porter Wagner is, I wish I would have had more time. I was going to put a picture up of him, but he's like this over-the-top, pompadour hairdo, blonde-haired, tall drink of water. He was very tall, lanky, country singer who was old school, 50s, 60s, and always wore the outfits, blue, red, black, with the sequins and the yoke collars. Everything was very Western. Porter Wagner. And he had his own TV show, kind of like Hee Haw or any of the others, right?
Yeah, one of them variety shows back in the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Buck Owens, he had his own show too, and so on top of Hee Haw. But that's where she got her big break. And she used to do these commercials for Lux laundry soap, Lux.
Yeah. I Love Lucy. Lucille Ball used to do those too. Lux laundry soap.
Did she do those?
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Yep.
Excuse me. Well, Dolly did them live on the TV show. And Lux, and this is, again, I'm kicking myself. Seriously, my apologies to you for running out of time and not being able to do this how I wanted to. But I didn't want to let it go. Today's the day we lost her. But I wanted to find one of those old commercials. So while I'm telling this story, Mike, maybe if you could, Dolly Parton, Lux laundry detergent, Porter Wagner, just put those in, see if one of her commercial pops up. That was my first experience with Dolly. I was in love. I was 8, maybe 9. I was in love. And it's so funny. Everyone I've been attracted to the rest of my life now, so far in my life, has been I've always looked for my Dolly. I came close with my second wife. Excuse me. I know I'm that shallow. Yes, absolutely I am. But she made such an impression on me. I was so in love with Dolly Parton.
That may be part of your problem, Charlie. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm 8 or 9. I know, because they don't exist really. That's the unicorn. That's the rare white wolf right there is Dolly Parton. But just her personality, her face, her everything. I just thought she was amazing. I'm a very impressionable kid. And she's doing these, and the funniest thing, looking back on it now, and this is what we were laughing about. This is why I wanted to play this recording, this interview for you, but it's gone, is why I brought this whole SoundCloud thing up. It's gone. I had to reestablish the account and everything, put in a new password, do all this stuff, and I went there and hoping there it will be where I left it last time I actually put it in there all those years ago, because this is going back to like 2010.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's gone. And that was the only copy I had of it. And that just made me sad. But we were laughing about her doing the Lux laundry detergent, and it is in a box. Everything came in powder right then. And this is probably 68, 69. And the big thing with Lux detergent was you had a bath towel in every box. So the box is about this big, right? About that big. Like a great big giant Cheerios box. And she would open up the box live. Every time she did this, it was live on camera. And reach out or pour out some of the soap like she's pouring it into the laundry machine and go, oh, look, and pull out this laundry frickin' towel that's been in a box of soap that is big towel, takes up a lot of room. So basically, you got about half a box full of laundry soap, and the rest of it was this towel of questionable quality. And we were laughing at that. And I said, dang it, Dolly, you made such an impression on me. You were so fun. And she just was so gracious. And when I heard that she died, I flashed back to my moment that I got to meet Dolly, actually just on the phone. And I'm kicking myself too, because I wound up going to that concert. And after I got off the air, 7:00, actually they let me go early so I could, because it was like an hour or something drive to Concord from Sacramento. And I went to this concert, got in there just in time for the show to start. I never thought to ask her for backstage passes. You know, she would have put me on the list.
Yeah.
Because she had a good time. She goes, I really enjoyed talking with you. You're just darling. You know, she would have given me a backstage pass. I could have gotten my picture with her. I could have shook her hand. I could have hugged her. Could have thought inappropriate things. And
he was thinking those anyway.
I didn't even think to ask her for backstage passes. I was just grateful that I had tickets and I was finally going to get to see Dolly Parton. The only thing that changed my attitude about Dolly somewhat, and I still really haven't gotten over it, her song Jolene. Now, Concord is very close to San Francisco. There's just a whole plethora of homos there. And I'm looking around in this crowd, and I'm there with my girlfriend at the time, and I'm seeing all these dudes dressed as women. They're all drag freaking queens. Now, this is before you had them reading stories to little children and all this. This is going back to 2010. And they're everywhere. And Dolly comes out and all these little homos start squealing. And then she does her song Jolene, but she changes the words. Instead of saying Jolene, 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 she says drag queen, drag queen, drag queen, drag queen.
Must have been some drag queen festival or something going on that was a part of or something.
Homos lose their minds. It's like a nuclear explosion of homo adoration for Dolly Parton because they're giving, and at the end she's telling about, I just really appreciate you all and you've been so good to me and I just love you all regardless of who you love and so on and so forth. And they're going, this is a Christian. She talks about her Christianity and her faith. So, oh well. That was the only thing I'd ever seen in my entire experience with Dolly Parton that I went like, Dolly, why'd you do that? Someday I hope to make it to Dollywood. Haven't made it yet. In Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. They got down in Branson. They got the Dixieland Stampede or something that was hers too. I've heard about it. Yeah. I was talking with somebody at lunch.
There. It's been 20 years ago, but I've been to it.
Just today at lunch, somebody who came from Missouri, and I was asking her about that. My mom's caretaker, actually. And she saw that show. And I said, it's like a Wild West show. And she goes, oh, yeah. And I go, was it like in a big arena, like a rodeo arena? She goes, no, it was inside. Inside?
No, it was inside. But there's a lot of big places like that in Branson. It was kind of like, you ever been to Medieval Times?
Oh, yeah.
Where they do the show and then they serve you the food. Same kind of deal.
Worth it. Awesome show. If you're ever in LA, Buena Park, do it.
Yeah, they got one, or they had one in Vegas. I don't know if they still do.
They did. I don't think it's there anymore, but Medieval Times is such a kick. And they don't give you any utensils with the dinner. You tear that chicken apart.
And your waitress, you got to call her a winch. If you don't, they won't bring you anything.
They won't bring you
Come here, winch.
Not kidding. And these knights are really jousting right there in front of you on horseback. And I'd have a feeling some of them actually do get hurt. Because it seemed to be pretty legit to me. And there was a lot of pyrotechnics. I didn't know they had exploding things back in medieval times, but apparently they did.
Well, you know, Chinese brought over, they traded, got the gunpowder, so you never know.
Good point. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share with you about my thoughts about Dolly Parton and the experience I had with her and growing up with family that just adored her and just country music in general. But the watching the music business ignore her. I mean, she did get Grammys, but not like a Beyonce or something. Beyonce's never written a thing in her life. Madonna's never written a thing in her life. All these people get all their accolades when they're when they're filthy and ridiculous. Oh, they get heaped with praise. But Dolly Parton, who wrote her own music, and that "I Will Always Love You" was Elvis Presley wanted that song badly.
Oh,
yeah, Elvis Presley wanted to
could have done it too,
and he wanted to half the rights, and little Dolly Parton said nope, and that was in 1973, 74. Dolly Parton said no to Elvis Presley. You got to kind of respect that. She said, no, I'm keeping my song. This is my song. I'm going to record it myself. And he was offering her all kinds of cash for it. But he was just convinced that it was that good of a song. And it is.
It is. Like I said, in 3 different genres, it topped out. And, of course, Whitney Houston destroyed that song. I mean, she just killed it.
Oh, she was one in a good way. I hope you're saying in a good way. I thought it was amazing.
Yes. I mean, just nailed that. She did it in such a way that, I mean, if you're a female artist, it is a mark of talent if you can get close to what Whitney Houston did. That's pretty much the standard.
I agree. And that long pause where it gets all quiet and then all of a sudden, and I Stills.
Yeah. Well produced for sure. And the thing is, you're talking about Dolly Parton and you talk about Whitney Houston, who are both dead, back in the day when you didn't fake it. I mean, you remember Milli Vanilli?
There was no, what do they call that? That altering their voice crap.
Yeah. The lip syncing and all that stuff. Then none of them did that. Auto tuning is what you're talking about. None of them did that back then. That didn't exist. And now it is 99% of your on-stage performances are lip synced. They don't sing it. They just and Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston both an exception to this rule, but it was ugly, talented people who made music. You know what I mean? Yes. and
yes, that's right.
Now it's beautiful people that can dance that make music. So that's why I've really stopped listening to any kind of top 40 music, even Christian top 40 music, in the last 30 years, just because I'm tired of the industry. Too. But back then, in Dolly Parton's day, and of course you could think of all the artists around the same time. I mean, you mentioned Buck Owens. Think about him playing the guitar. Earl Campbell and him playing the guitar. I mean, there was talent there. And by the way, I follow Johnny Cash's grandson.
They got ignored because they were country, and Hollywood hates country.
Well, that's
they
true,
got ignored for the most part by the rest of the music business and Hollywood and everything else. Because
the music business is so fake now that when the USAID stopped paying them, people stopped buying their albums because nobody was buying their albums. So, but what I was about to say though is that Johnny Cash's grandson is now touring and playing, singing old songs of Johnny Cash and some of his new stuff that he's writing himself. And it's pretty refreshing because it's extremely talented young man, and he's got a little band that goes around. You can find him on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. And that really is where the real talented music stuff is evolving to, because the gatekeepers have gatekeeped it so bad and made an industry of it so bad that music isn't music anymore. It's just a production. But you got talent out there. There's a family. Somebody knows the name of this family. There's a family. It's 2 boys. One plays guitar, one plays drums, and a little girl who now plays keyboards and does vocalist. But when they first started out, she was like knee high, and all she did was slap a tambourine. But dad is evidently very extremely musical, and he's got his kids there, and they do all these songs. They're touring now. dad has quit his job. They're touring full time. I can't think of their names. Somebody knows their names. And so, but they just do music. They just do music, real music. It's amazing.
Judy Amos in our chat room reminded me of something, and thank you for bringing this up, because if we're going to be completely honest, I'll tell you what I loved about Dolly, but I'll also tell you what disappointed me. And I'm with you, Judy. I fully agree with this. And let me see if I can scroll that up and bring that up. And speaking of scrolling, you got it. Thank you. Dolly disappointed me by not only pushing the jab, Judy, but she also invested a tremendous amount of money in the research and development for Moderna. She's the one that helped develop that death shot. Now, she made it out of the goodness of her heart. I'm going to help save the world. Or maybe she was just a creepy, completely cabal, deep state operative using her money to bring death and destruction like Bill Gates is on the world. I hope not. I like to think not.
Yep.
But you're right, Judy. That was a disappointing thing too, and I agree with you. I found a bit of Dolly Parton with Porter Wagner if you want to see it.
Yeah, put it up on the screen.
Let's see it. All right, let's do it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Excuse me. I had it already, and then I had to do that. Here we go. Let's go full screen. Let's go big or go home.
That combination.
We sure do, Porter. Colorful towels, all with a two-way flower design.
That's right, folks. Two-way. Look, a big flower on one half and a whole bunch on the other.
Daisies, fingers,
I've seen those at auctions.
But you can't buy them.
I can't
Like
buy.
a state auction.
You can only get them in boxes of breeze.
Oh, it's breeze.
That's really the right combination.
I called
a
it
beautiful
wrong.
collection of two-way towels.
Breeze.
And breeze.
So you get your laundry soap, and it's half of it is filled with towel. I just thought that was so funny.
I've seen those towels at auctions. Oops.
I would buy one of those in a hot New York second. Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't bring
I would
nothing. Nobody knows what they are, but I've seen them at like you go to the old farm auction out in the country, and they're selling all that. Grandma died years ago. Grandpa just passed away, went to nursing home. They're selling off the farm and selling all the stuff and all the equipment and stuff. They'll sell all the houseware stuff, and that'll be in there somewhere in a flat for $1. Next, I didn't realize that's where they came from. That's interesting. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that's it. Breeze. I said Lux. It was Breeze. Breeze.
It doesn't matter. We get the point. Lux was another laundry soap back in the day.
Yeah.
That's the one that I Love Lucy used to do was the Lux laundry soap. So
okay. No, I don't think I've seen that. But the television commercials used to be just they were almost always done live. A lot of shows were done live, especially the soap opera stuff. And,
all that stuff back in the day was all live. All that stuff. I Love Lucy did all hers live. I mean, all the variety shows, they were all live. That's just the way they did it back then, because there really wasn't production back then like there is today.
There wasn't broadcast quality videotape either.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So they had to go live, even if they went to a videotape segment. It just wasn't. The quality wasn't there yet. So there you go. That's what I got. There's my little tribute, such as it is, to Dolly.
I will say this about Dolly Parton. Okay, talented, lots of music. All that's fine and dandy. A lot of conspiracy theories are coming out right now. I'm not going to dance on somebody's grave and really go down that road. Maybe sometime in the future we can talk about that. But one of the things that blows my mind is they're all, oh, she got the vaccine. She got the vaccine. That's why she's dead. She's 80 freaking years old.
She was 80. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do not count. Now, I pay attention. There was a 16-year-old kid that died on the football field here the other day. That makes me go, I wonder. Yeah. But when you're 80 years old, 90 years old, and you die, guess what? I don't go, oh, that had to be the vaccine. No, probably just old. And I mean, she seemed like a nice person. That was part of her shtick, to be a nice person. So who knows how she was behind the scenes? I ain't never heard somebody say that she was, a hateful, vengeful, but you know what kind of hard life she was living either. You don't know how much she was drinking. You don't know if she was doing drugs. You don't know any of that in the background. Her persona is a product she's selling. It's like anybody else in Hollywood or music industry or anywhere. That's a product they're selling. So you really don't know the person.
Knowing the music industry, movie business, television, and radio, basically media in general, I've been in it all my life. And it's predominantly male dominated. Almost all program directors, music directors, producers, editors, all of the Weinsteins of the world. They're males, they're men. And I was thinking about that with Dolly today. Can you only imagine what it must have been like for her entire freaking career with these creepy sons of bitches all acting like they have a shot at Dolly Parton. Oh, and if you just wait, let me see those and let me do this. And why don't you come on over and sit next to me, Dolly? Oh, how about dinner tonight? And she got married when she was like 19, 20, guy named Carl, and was with him all her life. Now, what the marriage was like, I don't know. She never talked about it. Nobody ever seemed to talk about it. He died a few years ago. So,
yeah.
But can you imagine what it must have been like for her trying to start off with all of her talent, living the way she did in a 1-bedroom room cabin, East Tennessee, Appalachian Mountains. She was hillbilly.
Yep.
And that song, Coat of Many Colors, she was writing about a coat that her mom took patches of clothes that had worn out. She'd get the little patch that was still okay and sew them all together. This patchwork thing, how they used to do quilts, only it wasn't nearly as organized and nice, and made this coat for her. Now, I come from that kind of poor, not quite that level.
Yeah, I don't come from that.
I remember wearing hand-me-down clothes to school. I remember having to wear a vest that my Nana, my grandmother, would knit. And I had to wear that because, oh, your grandmother made this for you. You're going to wear this to school. Oh, I knew what was coming. I knew it was going to be a hellish day for me. Wearing that knit vest to school. And that's the kind of sport that I grew
actually,
up.
it would actually be in style today, and they would think that you were one of them Dolly Parton fans. So,
I just thought about that though. What her whole life must have been like with all these stinking men, filthy, powerful, wealthy men wanting to have their way with her and wanting her to comply. And they'll help her. I'll help you. That's real. That's real what these women go through in the entertainment business.
Oh, yeah. And the men, too. The men, too, because,
now
out there in California, they're
it's
swinging
bad.
all different ways. So
No. He's not kidding. You're right, Mike. You're right.
I mean, take a look at the Diddy stories. You wanted to make it in the rap music industry. You had
Justin
to get with
Bieber.
Diddy.
Geez, Justin Bieber. What a tragic story that is. Those pigs.
I don't have it queued up, but just to say that Donnie Wahlberg, who was part of the Kitchen Sink, In Sync, was it In Sync? One of them, Backstop Boys, one of them. I don't remember.
Boys.
He was one of them, and do all the jigging. That is the perfect example of manufactured music, by the way. Completely fake. But Jenny McCarthy, I guess they're married or long time living together. I don't know. They were at some church the other day. They both got baptized.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I don't have it pulled up right, but I talked about it.
That makes me happy. I always liked Jenny McCarthy, and I know her whole shtick was sex, but she was so funny. I always knew she was smarter and better than the average, good-looking woman.
And she squealed the beans on some of the inner workings of Hollywood too. So.
That's right.
I guess Donnie has been too. I guess he's been working. I've been doing some stuff too in that arena. It would make sense if they're together. But
Alec Baldwin, the oldest brother, is still a flaming heathen, but his brother Stephen, got saved and has been, seriously, following Christ Jesus. He's in a movie that you ever want to see, a really funny movie about church and church people. It's actually called Church People, and you can find that. Anywhere, just look for it. Church People, very funny. But
so I've got a video here for you.
Okay.
in honor of your P phone, this young lady from New York, it was Zoltron taking over New York, is turning into San
Still
Francisco.
working.
So here is a little video in honor of your P phone. This young girl in New York getting the San Francisco treatment.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, I'm sick. I'm like literally almost gonna cry. I just stepped. I'm wearing clippers.
I know what's coming.
In human shit.
Yep. That's real. Yep.
That'd be my wife too. She would make me get up.
Oh, she's about to hurl for real, huh?
I'm moving. Oh, this was it.
She's moving. She's done. I'm out of here. Not gonna do it. Oh yes, yeah. I was talking to somebody just the other day about California, and I said, it's the cereal state. I've said it on the show before. She goes, "What cereal state?" I said, "Yeah, fruits, nuts, and flakes." She goes, "That fits."
Yeah, San Francisco really is that bad. And when there was that debate Sean Hannity hosted Fox News between Governor Hairdo and Governor Ron DeSantis, the greatest governor in the nation. And DeSantis brought up that app. There's an app to show you where the latest excrement droppings are all over the city, so you can avoid that area, or how bad it is, how prevalent it is.
What they need is Xi Jinping to come visit again so they can clean the place up.
They'll clean it up for the communist Chinese leader, yeah.
That's right. Bow down and kiss his ring and all this other stuff that he does. So, by the way, do you know Xi Jinping's coming in September to talk to Donald Trump? Did you know that?
I got so many theories about that. I think it's ultimately a good thing, but I think it's ultimately a new world order, one world government kind of thing too, with President Trump actually flying to China out of the blue. And there's like this whole big thing. He's meeting with Ping. Why is President Trump going to meet with Ping?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. He was putting them on notice. We'll get to that. I got a video on that a little bit later. But did you see that Ratcliffe? Is it Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA?
Yeah.
He just flew to Moscow today. He flew to Russia today. Went his plane and a C-130, not a C-130.
I would hope not. That would be a miserable flight.
No, the other small one, not a Galaxy, but the other one that has the jet engines. I can't think of which one.
Okay, a Lear.
No.
It's a military jet.
He flew in a military commercial plane, but there was a military jet that flew with him. They say it's for communications and stuff. But he flew there. He was there about 2 hours and it got on and flew back. I don't know what the head of the CIA was doing in Russia, but there's something working there. Something working there. I don't know what that's all about.
Ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, I've always thought that it's nothing but posturing and stupidity coming from the left, who continues to hold up Russia as the bad guy. Always. Never China.
Never China. That's right.
Because the Soviet Union fell. And even though they are still communist, socialist kind of government and run that way, it's not like it used to be. So the left just seems to despise them. I've never understood why we're not friendlier to them. Why aren't we encouraging trade with them?
You got to think about this. When they were the Soviet Union, when they were Russia, the Soviet Union.
Bernie Sanders adored them then.
It's a Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. When they were that, Bernie Sanders vacation over Ted Kennedy was, in love with them. There was some stuff when Reagan was president. He was in constant communication with Russia, right? So C-17. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I could not remember there was a C-17. Totally blowing my mind on it. Anyways, I used to know all that stuff about all the planes when I was in the military, but that was 30 some odd years ago. Now I don't care. So
I'm still that way with World War II planes.
So but they worshipped Russia back then. Now that Russia is
so I'm saying now that the Soviet Union is fallen,
they're just now
actually having elections, unlike Ukraine. I mean, it's it's a given. Putin's going to win, I think, every time. But why aren't we trading with them? And then they're
poison your competition. It makes it easier to win.
Everyone on the left, and including, unfortunately, everyone on the right too, started screaming about Russia's the bad guy attacking Ukraine. What did they do? Completely unprovoked. And then you find out, no, it was not unprovoked at all. There were all kinds of things going on. Zelensky pushing and attacking actual Russian citizens who were living in Ukraine and so on, kind of like the Gaza Strip, lobbing bombs into Israel. And then what happened? Why did Israel react this way? We don't understand. That same thing was going on with Ukraine. And I'll tell you what, I'll boil it down to this, Mike, and then you can say what you want to say from there. It's all about starting World War III. That's what it's all about with these clowns, with these pigs. They want that usher in the new world government, the one world order. No better way to depopulate the planet than have a nuclear war. Let's start World War III. And they're still pushing that.
Great Britain has come out and said that they're going to give billions of dollars to Ukraine, and that they're helping with Ukraine's weapons research and constructing these drones. Ukraine, now if you watched my show, I've been talking about this since the war began. When the war began, in drone warfare, we were in the beginning of World War I with air power. Beginning of World War I, it was the guy flying around in a single wing, 50cc air-cooled motor going boom, and looking down and writing down maps of movements. That was how it started, right? Then some guy said, what if I took my 45, pew, pew, started shooting people? And then somebody said, you know what? I could toss grenades out. And then somebody said,
yes, and then they made bigger biplanes so they can carry more weight, and they're holding bombs and dropping them over the target.
Right. Well, then they mounted the bombs, and then they evolved into pure fighter aircraft, pure reconnaissance aircraft, and pure bombing aircraft. Right. As the war, by the end of the war, you had dedicated built designs and that were just way ahead. You started getting into the first aircraft was made out of balsa wood and canvas.
Oh yeah.
Then now you're getting into other woods and metals in the aircraft, and it ended 1914, 1915. When did the war? 1917, and it was the 1935-ish that World War II started kicking off, right? The beginning, and by the time that rolled around, you had the Blitzkrieg, you had a different way of using the bombers and the fighters. You had naval warfare was about to change permanently because the battleship was no longer relevant. It was the aircraft carrier, with the Japanese were the ones doing that. Nobody else was doing it till we got our butts kicked and said, say, we should probably focus that way instead of the other way. But now, did you know they took our battleship, that the USS Missouri was a museum. They've taken it out of museum status and put it into to redo. Nobody really knows what they're redoing, but the latest theory is it's going to be a drone carrier.
We should be utilizing all these ships that are in dry dock and moth fleets, and they don't get recycled and they don't get torn down, and everybody just lets them sit there and rot and leak oil into the water. Inspector Cates put this up here. Do you think this is true? Have you heard this? He would know better than us.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Canada's making drones for Ukraine, lots of them.
Well, it's true. And let me get back to my theory on this, okay? So when the Ukraine war started, they went over to Kmart and they got themselves a little drone and duct taped a mortar on it, right?
Did you say Kmart?
They flew this thing around,
Oh, that's where the Kmarts went. They're all over in Ukraine. Wow. Right.
but now they have, I mean, that's literally what it was. And then what happened is they started introducing jamming technology on both sides. So the drones would fly in and you'd lose the signal from the road. Drone would go like this. So they attached a fiber optic cable to the drone, like our TOW missiles. I know you know how the TOW missile works, right? They were doing that with the drone. So that was Ukraine started doing that. What did the Russians do? Everybody carried around a big pair of scissors. The duck and hide, drone go by, boom, there's that cable, snip, drone, that's it. I'm serious. This is the evolution of this warfare to the point where a year or two ago, I think it was 2 years ago, 2 years ago, that they loaded a bunch of drones inside these containers that were autonomous and AI designed to do a specific task. Then they smuggled them into Russia, and they had Russian truck drivers had no idea what they're doing. They just picked up a load, go take the load over here by the strategic bombers. By the way, under the treaty between the United States and Russia, our strategic bombers, our B-52s, and their bomber, whatever it's called, has to be out on a runway in straight lines all the time so that our satellites can see theirs and their satellites can see ours. Now, the B-2 and the B-1B is not in that, but the strategic bombers, the B-52 and whatever theirs was called. So they set these, I don't know if you remember it, that there was video of the tops open up and these drones coming out, and the Russian civilians are standing on this tractor trailer trying to beat these drones back down into trying to save, they're Russians. They're trying to protect Russia. But it was all over. They took out a third of the strategic bombers of Russia doing this. And then when the first bombing campaign in Iran, the first opening salvo of that, Israel snuck in a bunch of containers with drones, and they placed those drones all over the country, and those drones took out their ADA, their anti-aircraft artillery and radar systems, opened up corridors for the bombing to happen. So you see the evolution, how this is happening. Now you got Russia and Ukraine almost every single night now launching 700, 800, 1,000 drones each at each other that are going in and taking out infrastructure. Ukraine has been bombing the equivalent of Amazon in Russia, destroying all their warehouses.
Oh, wow.
It's just all this craziness is going on with this drone warfare. So we've evolved from, like I said, the guy goes in to raids the Kmart, gets the little drone about this big, to these big, huge drones with 500-pound bombs that don't use the fiber optic cable, that don't use remote control. They're autonomous. You tell them where to go, they go. So we're in a different time and a different place, and that's part of the reason why there's a massive push in the United States right now to get caught up on drone and anti-drone technology. One of the things that they have is they have a direct energy weapon. Oh my God, they're starting fires. No, it's on ships. It's already deployed. The ship can use a microwave burst. So you got a swarm of 200 drones coming in. They can use a microwave burst to take out all the drones. The drones just fry, go into the water.
Yeah. Well, that's same premise of what they're saying. With the electromagnetic pulse EMP weapon is basically just in our outer atmosphere, blow up a nuclear bomb and it'll shut down the grid on the entire East Coast and beyond. They have, and they used it in Venezuela. I'm assuming. I don't have any evidence of this. I'm just looking at the battle space, seeing what happened, knowing technologies that have been tested that you can watch on Discovery Channel. They've talked about these things. They have a electromagnetic direct energy weapon. It's shipborne. If you remember, the power was taken out in Venezuela when we went in and got what's his name? Yes, that's right.
About a mile corridor. That was a electromagnetic direct energy weapon that went in and fried the electrical system in that mile for us to fly through. Took out all their defense, all this stuff. So, there's that was a direct energy weapon. there. How it worked, I don't know. What was it? Shipborne, helicopter-borne, plane-borne? I don't know. But you can see that. You can see that happening in real time when you're watching the feed coming out of that. So it's just interesting about how we have went in this modern form of warfare. The aircraft carrier is going to be obsolete.
I've been saying that for a while, and the left is squealing because President Trump wants to build a whole state-of-the-art aircraft carrier and call it the USS Trump, and everybody's just screaming over that.
That's not true. That's not even on the books. But we do have.
I don't think it is either. I thought it was a load of crap, and I'm listening to this conservative radio talk show host go on and on about just to placate his ego and everything. I hate this guy. I've come to just hate him. It's funny now I can't even think of his name. Eric Erickson. That's it. Eric Erickson. That guy hates President Trump, and he's supposed to be a hardcore conservative. He's a liar.
PMI, Patriot Mythology Insurgency. That's what he is.
Okay, there you go. I like that. I've been saying all along that I fully believe that the aircraft carrier is already obsolete. And you bring these World War II and Korean War ships out of retirement, load them up with drones, send them where you want. They're a lot cheaper to send, not as many people manning it. You don't need to have a full city, a floating city like an aircraft carrier, and it's just nothing but drones. That's brilliant. That's all we need now.
We don't even need that because we have these crates that you load onto a C-130 or a C-5 Galaxy or whatever. You fly over the enemy and push the crate out. Parachute pops out as it's dropping. It's launching drones. So they use container vehicles. We just fly over and drop these crates out.
I hate this. And they got these nano drones. You've seen the things about those?
Yeah, the nano drone. The concept behind the nano drone, which is something that they've dreamed about having the ability to do since World War II, and that is that you take and you just drop all these nano drones, which autonomously go out and attack targets, right? But they actually had that concept idea, didn't have the technology back in World War II, where they were researching attaching incendiary devices to bats and dropping bats out of airplanes, let them fly and land in the barn and burn the barn down. It didn't work very well.
That is cruelty to bats, and I take a stand against that.
That's what they did.
Can you imagine what's coming, warfare-wise, though? A swarm of nano drones. What are you going to do? What are you going to shoot at? How are you going to stop that?
Electromagnetic burst.
EMP
burst. EMP burst.
Come over with a big old EMP. I'm pointing my EMP gun at you.
So I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but about a month ago, a B-2 took off from Whiteman, flew out towards Guam, where they had 5 ships sitting, 5 derelict ships. It flew out, and a few hundred miles out, it launched stealth cruise missiles that can't be detected on radar. Full deal, right? And they sunk all 5 of those ships with a B-2 that's stealth that you don't know is coming, with cruise missiles that stealth that don't know is coming. Why did they do that? I'll tell you why they did that. Because China is building a carrier fleet to take on American carrier fleets and sink them. China. They have a massive amounts of missiles and drones now. They're adding the drones to it. And I saw a video that was talking about what Iran did to try to attack one of our ships in the Gulf. There is they launched a simultaneous multi-vehicle attack on a destroyer. The destroyer happened to have that weapon on it, along with its other defenses. What their plan was send the drones in, right, and then overwhelm the defense. See, with the Sea Whiz and that type of stuff and the missiles, they only have so many. So if you launch 200 drones and you take them all out with the missiles and the Sea Whiz, now you're out of ammunition. Then comes another 200 drones from a different direction, and missile strikes, cruise missiles, and that sort of thing. You've overwhelmed the defenses, and launching a $1 million missile to take out a $500 drone is not cost effective.
No.
So the Americans, we've deployed 2 weapons. That's that electromagnetic weapon and a laser weapon designed to shoot down drones and rockets and missiles. So a third,
and we use it in Venezuela, and nobody seems to know what it's called or what it is, and it's all very secretive.
Discombobulator.
To make everybody vomit weapon.
Yeah, Donald Trump named it. It's a discombobulator.
Is that it? Is that what he called it?
That's what we called it, a discombobulator.
Oh, that's funny. Froggy, you're right. Even better than the mothball World War II and Korean War ships. Do the submarines. Retrofit submarines.
Did you hear that they're bringing back the attack submarines? So you got the big boomers. They're actually retiring most of those, but they're taking the LA class submarines and bringing them back and refitting them so that they can launch nuclear weapons and other weapons. So that they may be considering that, what you just said.
I'm all about recycling. I am all about recycling, and save us some money. Fantastic. Share it with the rest of us. I love this. By the way, you said Sea Whiz earlier. What the heck is that?
It's if you watch the movie, and they probably have an upgrade of it now, but it's basically the Gatling gun that's on the A-10, and it's it's on the ship, and it's I don't know if the caliber is the same, but the concept's the same, and it's run by radar. It's semi-autonomous, and when a missile's coming into the ship, it goes takes it out. But they have that. They have missiles. They
overwhelms it with lead flying towards it.
Right. But the problem is that round that's shooting is like $100 a round. So you're is several thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right. So they got another weapon that I want to talk about. They've got a laser weapon.
Before you move on, though, the reason why I brought it up again is I like that name Sea Whiz, and that's going to be the new name for my phone now.
Oh, yes. Well,
a long way to go for that joke, but I had to share it. Okay, what's this new weapon then?
So got Pete Hegseth went out to White Sands, New Mexico, and they test fired the new laser weapon. By the way, it's been deployed in the Navy now for about 2 years. So they test fired it and made it public. The public test firing of this weapon. Why did they do that? We're telling everybody, screw you. You can't hit us. That's what the B-2 was. We can fly our B-2 over your Navy and sink every ship in your Navy, and you won't see it, know it until it blows up. That's what we said to them. Because we've already proven that the Timu radar systems that they use in Venezuela, and well, that's what they were. Chinese made radar systems, the best of the best. They said they could detect stealth and everything. It didn't work out for them. Like everything else with Timu, doesn't come as advertised. So they launched drones, they launched cruise missiles, they launched artillery rounds, several other things, and they shot them down with this laser that they say costs $1.50 a shot. $1.50 a shot, takes a half a minute to recharge, and just go pow, 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 and shoot down these. Not exactly how it works, but shoot down whatever you got, including artillery pieces. So we're telling the nations of the world, yeah, you got your drones and you got your missiles and you got your ballistic missiles and you got all this stuff, but we got this stuff, and screw you. So that's basically what they're saying. So that's where we are when it comes to military technology. Of course, Mike is saying in the comment sections earlier that we're way far ahead of that. He's in the defense industry. If Marine in the Woods is here, he'll say the same thing. He's retired Marine, but the technology that we publicly know, I mean, nobody knew about the discombobulator until people got discombobulated. That's for sure.
This is good stuff right here. Thank you, Carol. You're right. Bible talks about this is Revelation, something that stings like a scorpion and leaves you sick for months, something like that. There's all kinds of things in Revelation describing what it's going to be like in the final days and the Armageddon and all that. And there's things that I used to read about when I first got saved, and then go, what could that be? And now I'm looking at it and going, oh.
It can be.
It's happening.
Well, you got to understand too that John the Revelator and if you go back to Ezekiel and Elijah and Isaiah, who also had end time prophecies, Daniel had end time prophecies. If you're looking at, let's say, a helicopter, right? How do you describe that in terms of a person that lives in Babylonian times?
Gigantic
like
dragonflies coming in.
How do you describe that? Now, am I saying that's what it is?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. But I am saying it could literally be what it says it is. I don't know. But you got to consider that the things that they were talking about in these days or in our near future, they had no concept of understanding what that was. So they had to put it into their words, which probably
of course.
had no concept for what that was. So
tried to be as descriptive as possible.
But they didn't know what they were looking at. How would you describe a helicopter to a Babylonian soldier in when was that, about 900 BC or 750 BC? How would you describe that to somebody? In our time,
how would you describe it to somebody even 200 years ago?
Right. I'm from the future, and we fly around in these things with these blades that go around real fast, and we shoot across the sky. They think you're talking witchcraft. They wouldn't know what the heck you're talking about. What do you mean? We drive around these big armored turtles with a big barrel on it that shoots, these rounds out that, how would you explain an M14? I mean, they just don't understand. They cannot comprehend what that was. But we went down a really long rabbit trail on this show today.
No, it's fun, huh?
Can I wrap something up though?
Yeah, let's talk about Glenn Beck.
We got the trade war. Canada's terms.
Hang on, Mike. Hang on a quick second. Before we do anything, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, especially if you're watching on my Rumble channel. Because the response that I've been getting on my Rumble channel when I ask people to like the show, it's very simple. We ask you to just like it. It helps with the algorithm thing. Rumble will promote this show and Mike's shows and my show on my channel. If we get likes, if we get traction, if they see that people are actually watching. And that's why Mike just got like that really cool thing from StreamYard. He's like number 5. What was that in the country? Look at him go.
Number 5 this month in minutes watched on StreamYard.
And that's just one way that they will promote. They go, hey, this guy's got traction. We're going to promote him. We're going to help them grow, because we help them grow. We get benefit by more eyeballs watching our annoying ads that pop up right in the middle of their show. That's just reality. That's the business. That's how it is. And they got to make money somehow, right? And we're not paying them.
As they say on my show,
we're giving them content
trick.
What is it? What?
They call it the salt trick. The salt trick. If you do the salt trick, it makes your manhood more manly. Those are the videos that pop up.
Dude, some of these are freaking ridiculous. I was watching some show and a commercial popped up, and this woman is saying, and I'm sure it was AI, if you drink half a glass of hydrogen peroxide, your baseball bat will get to work again.
Well, at least
they were telling people to drink hydrogen peroxide.
Don't recommend that. That's probably not good for you. There's what they're saying to me. Top 5% of streamers on StreamYard, which again, the difference between, say, me and Dan Bongino is he's 0.5 of 1%. The numbers vary. The numbers vary.
No, I got you. That's cool. But that's cool. Those are some good accolades. And you'll be helping this show grow if you just hit the like button wherever you're watching. On Mike's Facebook page now, I've been deleted from the platform, so I have no more Facebook. But on YouTube, it's on two of my YouTube channels, and on Mike's YouTube channel right now. We're on LinkedIn, but Rumble's the biggie. Because they don't delete us and they don't take us down and they don't threaten us. So
yeah, I just got a community notice and a video removed on TikTok that I posted the other day.
Me too.
Where I was talking about the Lindsay, what's her name, chick that killed her own kids. Probably because I said the word killed. Probably because I said killed. Because you can't say words like that. Because words, and there's a time coming when it's gonna go back the other way, and these companies are gonna get sued for banning people for using English language, and it's gonna happen.
I pray that you're right. I long for that day. I've been saying from the very beginning, I will not let the left dictate the English language to me. I can't say suicide, or we get even if we're talking about veteran suicide, which to Mike and me, that's a very real thing. And we know people who have taken their own lives, or we know somebody in their family have taken their own life. We can't even say the word suicide on YouTube or on Facebook. We get deleted. We get taken down. What are you, high? What is wrong with you people? We can't talk about the actual things that are happening in our world because we have to curb our language so we can stay on YouTube because YouTube pays more money.
Actually, before we get to the Glenn Beck stuff, let me just say this. YouTube came out and announced 2 weeks ago that they're changing the way that they pay because they've been tightening up the pay, and some big influencers have went to Rumble.
And they're coming over to Rumble.
Exactly. Because Rumble pays you day one. Day one. You can get
not a lot. Pennies. I wish it were more. Last month I made $50.60. But the point is, I'm obviously not doing this for the money. So I'm just asking you if you can please take the time. It's such a simple gesture to hit the like button. That's all I'm asking, wherever you're watching.
And then when you
comment down below, not in the chat room, but actually comment down below 5 words or more. Otherwise, they count it as a bot.
And let me tell you something. Charlie put me on that 5 words or more. It's made a difference. My audience has grown and my viewers has grown since you're doing that. But let me tell you, there's a secret. Rumble is based on the rumble in the arena of ideas. Okay. So these bots, these people, what was his name? Sage, one of the trolls, will get down there. He got like 23 different accounts. He'll go down into the comment section and put
hit thumbs down.
And that pulls our algorithm down. So make sure when you put your words, go in and hit the thumbs up on everybody else's. And that pulls on.
Nice.
Let me tell you, he was doing it. He was doing it almost on every show until I asked you guys to put the thumbs up. And then when there was 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 thumbs up on every comment, is 0 thumbs down. He just stopped doing it because it wasn't effective anymore.
Well, I'm going to call this up right now so you can see how many followers I have now, Mike, on Rumble. And it doesn't seem like a big deal when you look at the tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people who are following on YouTube and so on. But again, I have 2 strikes against me. They refuse to monetize me. So screw YouTube. Screw you, Google, which owns YouTube. I despise you.
Followers on YouTube. I get 3 views when I post a video. So who cares? Like right now. Let me just look right now. While you're doing that, I'll just look at what it says here. It says viewers on the Patriot Mike Show on YouTube 0. So that's why I don't do it. Anyways, that's mine. Let me pull that
I don't
off.
know why that came up. I was actually trying to bring up.
Because I had it queued up. There you go. I had it queued up.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I screwed it up for you. Okay. So let me see if I can zoom this in. I just want you to see this because I was all excited about this. And it's been fun. And I think a lot of it is people getting involved and people sharing and people actually, can you see right there?
Got 9,000?
Yeah. Almost over 9,100 followers on Rumble. Which again, that doesn't seem like a lot, but on Rumble, trust me, that's a pretty cool deal.
And I've got a little over 6,000, so Charlie's kicking my butt.
Well, you're making a lot more money than I am because you got your TSL, buddy, time spent listening. But that's because you do a live show and you're on there all the time. And
every day,
people will tune in, and if they decide they don't like my guest within the first 12 minutes, they go away.
I get some of that too. So now let's talk about Glenn Beck. So we talked about the war. We talked about all this stuff. We got a trade war kicking off between Canada and the United States. And it's just dumb. It's like, why? This doesn't make any sense. Why are they doing this? This is dumb. You know, nearly 80% of trade with Canada, for Canada, all Canada, everywhere in the world is with the United States. We're like 15% with them. This is not going to end well for them, but this is not what.
Not at all. But that Carney clown is just like Trudeau, nothing but posturing and, hey, look how tough I am, hey, I'm standing up to Trump, hey.
Oh, there's more to it than that.
We don't even do our engine and vehicle manufacturing in Canada like we used to, I don't think.
Well,
So I'll move to Mexico, unfortunately. But
percent tariff on automobiles coming from Canada. Said build your factories here.
Good. I agree.
said on my show, I said because Aaron said he wanted to come move to the United States if he could get a visa, and I said on our show, and I recommend this to the president on my show. I said, Mr. President, if you can give a visa, you can call it a what do they call it? 1B visa. You could call it a 1C visa. For any entrepreneur, business owner that wants to move their company to the United States of America, you would give them what do they call it? Temporary protective status with a green light fast track to citizenship if they move their businesses to the United States. That's what I think we should do. But, I'm not in charge, so I don't get those things done. So let's listen to Glenn Beck, because you see, this is a way bigger picture of what's going on. I've been talking about this sort of thing about what Donald Trump is doing worldwide. This is way bigger. And they have a strategy, and Donald Trump has a strategy, and it's basically who outlasts the other. So let's check this out.
The appeal from the president to the people is staffed, has a department with a job title.
Okay, here it goes.
Now let me give you the other side. Mark Carney knows that 72% runs both directions. 64% of the crude oil in this country that we import comes from Canada. Our Gulf refineries need the heavy sour crude, and Canada is where it lives. 76% of Canadians say walking away from the table was a right call. So he's not leading his country someplace where they don't want to go. He's following it. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't like America right now. But a prime minister facing a president who keeps calling his country the 51st state might reasonably conclude he has no deal available that is worth signing. But all of that is misdirection, okay? Because this isn't the argument he's making. The argument he's actually making is the argument he made at Davos in a room full of people who want the old system back. He is the leader of the old system. And by the way, it's not Canada. I'd have you watch. Last week, the foreign minister posted something about sanctions coming at his country. And he said, oh, this is the day. This is the day. The economic devastation is coming. He said the economic D-Day is just a diversion from America's own crisis. What is that crisis? Unprecedented debt, surging interest cost, could happen in September. And he attached pictures of the headlines. He attached a New York Times story. $40 trillion. Set aside who said it. Look at what he's reading.
Thinking about it now.
Here comes the salt trick. Hold on.
Oh, one of those commercials.
Okay.
Rub baking soda and hydrogen peroxide on your wang and you'll be good to go.
Your groups. I told you this yesterday. They are now studying our interest expense. They have concluded the fastest way to beat the United States is wait for the bond market to do it. And that's the war that nobody is covering. And I'm going to cover it in hour number 3 today. And it's so important because here's how it actually works. And it's not really complicated. Remember, I talked to you yesterday about Japan. And I said Japan's currency fell to 40-year lows. To prop it up, Japan needs dollars. So we sent them dollars. The traditional way Japan gets dollars is to sell U.S. Treasury bonds. We can't have Japan selling our Treasury bonds. They're the largest foreign holder of our debt on earth. If they sell them, then we have to get other people to buy them. So what do we have to do? We have to raise the interest rates. We have to give them more to buy those bonds. When they dump bonds, prices fall, yields rise, and every dollar our government borrows costs us more. So our interest rates go through the roof on $40 trillion. So the currency problem becomes our interest problem. So at the end of July, our treasury bought yen for the first time since 2011. And thank God for Scott Bessent, because he started pushing something called the FEMA repo facility. That is an obscure Fed window thing that I'm not going to bore you with, but it allows foreign central banks to take its treasuries and sell them, instead of selling them, pawn the treasuries for dollars from our U.S. Treasury and our Fed, okay? Japan gets the cash, but the bonds never hit the markets. Our rates stay put. Bessent said he wants the ceiling raised, yada, yada. That's the tourniquet on this whole thing. This thing is so fragile. And I think it makes sense now why Bessent was hired, because Bessent spent years at the Soros Fund Management. And when he was hired, and I love Bessent, but I didn't when I first heard him. I'm like, wait a minute. He was working with Soros. Yes. He knows. He's been in this system. He knows how the system has been built where the arteries can be cut. And he's the guy making sure those arteries aren't cut. Okay? So now you have a 50% tariff on the front page, a $50 billion a day pawn shop on page 19. They're counting on you to watch the tariff, to not understand what's actually at stake. And Carney doing what Iran is doing and everybody else. They're watching the calendar. Tehran is betting on our balance sheet. They're the same bet, placed by very different people, on the theory that America can no longer hold a position long enough to pay it off. Jefferson answered this call in 1793, and he wasn't even on this side of the argument. The appeal from the president to the people only fails when the people decline to take it, or the people are so misguided or so underinformed they don't understand what the president is doing. President Washington was making sure that America did not get into that foreign entanglement. President Trump is making sure we stay out of this globalist cabal. That's what you need to understand. That's what Carney is fighting for, the cabal. It's a game, and it's all about the election. He will inflict the pain on you and his own people, so he deals with a different Congress.
Okay, so there's Glenn, and he doesn't get into the details of the bond market, which I'll touch on. But basically, all of this, Iran, China, all this stuff. You paused the pink salt trick commercial just popped up. All of this stuff.
Oh, by the way, along those lines, I like what Jay Boland wrote here in the chat room.
I saw that one. Go ahead and read it.
Fact, the greatest absorption area in men was the scrotum. Fun fact. For your little salt trick.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead on.
So
I'm a child. I have to put. I still. I think fart.
I know you're the one with the fart jokes. I got you. That's why I get giving them to you.
Thank you.
So all of this that Trump's with Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, Panama Canal, it's all about isolating the deep state, isolating China, isolating the things that they're wanting. And one of the things Donald Trump is doing is he's destroying the world order of oil. Now, one of the prophetic words that I've given is that God is going to destroy the world order of things. And I give that, there's a lot of prophetic word about a Red Sea moment. And that's where, if you think about it, Egypt at that time, when the Israelites were in 400 years of bondage, Israel, because of Joseph, there was severe drought in where? All the land, that's like all of it. The people came, Joseph saved up because of the dream of Pharaoh, if you guys know the story. During the 7 years of plenty, he saved up all the grain. And during the 7 year of famine, they sold the grain to the people. The people came with their gold and silver and bought grain. Then they came back and they didn't have any more gold and silver, so they gave their livestock. Then they came back and they didn't have any gold, silver, livestock, so they gave their land. Then they came back as it got severe and said, we don't have any gold, silver, livestock, and now you own the land, you own everything. We give ourselves as slaves. So all the known world became slave to Pharaoh. The world order of things 400 years later, when Moses came and said, let my people go, was that Pharaoh owned everything. If Pharaoh had said, go, 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 I always think of Yul Brynner in The King and I, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's all I always think about. If Pharaoh says, go, 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 and they left and they went to Canaan, they would say, oh, somebody sent an emissary back to the king and asked if we have permission to go into his Canaan, because he owned everything. It was all his. But when they went into the Red Sea, not only did Pharaoh's armies die, but Pharaoh's entire government died, and along with his entire family. It destroyed the world order of things. And God's about to do the same thing, destroy the world order of things. And one of the things Donald Trump is doing, he's trying to corner the oil market and make it so that if you're going to buy oil on this planet, you got to buy it from the United States of America. That's one of the things that he's doing.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. But so here's the thing with the bonds. They've been trying to debase and destroy our currency, our fiat currency, all through the Biden administration. I mean, they've been trying to do it for years. And so Japan owns the most American bonds. And this is the scenario that's put out. If you go read the end of the world survivalist books, they give out this scenario of a bond market run, and it destroys credit and cash. So here's the scenario that most people talk about. Japan holds most of the holds the largest American debt holder, which is all bonds, is American people. But next,
and I'm very surprised by that. I just assumed it was China. I thought for years it was China. Japan's been struggling for a while, including their banking collapse and so on.
Yeah, that's happening right now.
How do they have that kind of money to buy all of our debt like that?
Well, what Japan has been doing, this is a deep conversation. Japan has been selling their securities at negative interest rates. So people would take American dollars and go buy Japanese yen at negative interest. They take out a loan at negative interest. So if you bought $1 billion at negative 1%, you'd get $1.1 billion from them, right? Then they would take this money and they would invest it in our stock market, or they invested in American bonds that are at 4%, whatever it is, and the spread between the -1 and the 4 or the 10 they're making in the stock market is pure profit. This has been going on for a long time. This keeps an influx of American cash going into Japan, keeping them afloat. But interest rates, which right now,
how does that adversely affect us?
That doesn't at that point.
It doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't at that point. Where the problem comes in is right now, your 10-year note is 4.6%. When our 10-year notes a few years ago, when everybody was getting 0% interest to buy a car, when our 10-year note was 1.1%, this was working well for Japan. The problem working well for the United States. The problem is at 4.6%, if it gets up to 5%, that means that's the interest we pay on our debt of $40 trillion goes through the roof. Okay. Japan is underwater now in their bonds because they've had to raise interest rates, which is ending that cycle. So now they're strapped for cash. They got to have cash to operate. So where's a quick way to get cash? Where's a quick way? Well, one way is sells your gold and silver, but they don't have enough gold and silver to do that. So how do they get cash? They sell the bonds that they've been holding bonds. They start dumping bonds on the market. Now here's the scenario.
We went and bought them back. Basent did.
Just wait. We'll get to that. Here's the scenario on the collapse of the bond market. Japan starts dumping American bonds, like a lot of them, like billions of dollars worth. And all of a sudden, China goes, crap, we better get rid of ours because something's going on before the American market drops. And they start selling theirs. And European Union says, oh, crap, we got to sell. And then all of a sudden, everybody on the planet that's holding American bonds starts dumping. And when that happens, the price of a bond, the lower the price, the stronger the bond, the higher the all of a sudden our bonds go to 10, 15, 20%. Now you got to pay 10, 15, 20% on $40 trillion with debt. We can't make the debt payment. Our currency collapses. Now you got Weimar Republic. You got Weimar's story of Weimar Republic. A little old lady took a basket, filled it full of her cash, and the plumb full of her cash, went to the grocery store to see if she can get a can of stewed tomatoes. She left the basket on the porch to walk in, old-time grocery store, not like Walmart, to see if they had any stewed tomatoes. And when she came back out, they had dumped out the money and stole the basket because the money wasn't worth anything. It literally cost you a basket full of money to buy stewed tomatoes. That's what happened. I wasn't prepared to talk about this today, but I'm a millionaire. You didn't know this, did you? I have 6 million Zimbabwe dollars, which is worth.
You've shown it before. Yeah.
So same thing with Zimbabwe. This is what happened. But what happened is the Treasury Secretary Bassett stepped in and bought a bunch of Japanese bonds to beef up their bond market and keep them from collapsing because he didn't want that scenario to happen.
They bought Japanese bonds. He didn't buy ours back. We're buying back our own debt.
Yes.
So
that's
Japan has bonds.
It's called
Japan has bonds.
But Japan has bonds. We bought Japanese bonds with American dollars to beef up the Japanese market, but we are also buying our own bonds back. That's what that repo market that Glenn Beck was talking about. That's us buying. It's called monetizing the debt. So the way that works is, and I have a graph here. I just want to show you something that happened during the Biden administration. Okay, so this is a graph right here. This is the reverse repo overnight repurchase agreements, treasuries, securities purchased by the Federal Reserve on the temporary open market. So nobody was buying our bonds during the Biden administration. That's where this is right here. Okay. Nobody was buying our bonds prior. So you got 22.
We're not seeing it. If you're trying to show us something on screen, we're not seeing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I got to be smart enough to operate the piece of machinery I'm using.
It dawned on me. I think he's trying to show us something.
Yeah. So this is the graph. Now, some of my fans that have watched me for a long time, this is a different graph because they changed their graph, and it is what it is. Part of the reason why I don't show it anymore, that's not as easy to see. But this is way back when, right? Nothing. This is the Biden administration. And what this is daily bond purchases by the Treasury. And there was a shell game they were doing. They would sell in the evening, they would sell bonds to the bank, right? And then they would buy them back with interest in the morning every day. This was to keep the economy afloat, keep the money moving. The worst thing that can happen is that the flow of money stops. That's the worst thing that can happen. And this right here, this is the one right here. It's December 31st, 2025. I can't get the lockout. They changed the way they do this. But if you look over here, this is in trillions of dollars. It's $3 trillion in a day. One day.
Good Lord.
They did that. One day. And so that was what was happening before. Now they're doing it in a different area, but it's the same sort of thing. We're now buying the bonds on the open market. The Fed Reserve, the Treasury is buying the bonds and holding the bonds. Now, here's what was happening back then. It's probably doing the same thing today. Is they would buy that bond. They would sell the bond to the bank. Okay. That's a liability. It's a debt instrument. So the Federal Reserve has a liability. That means we have to pay for that bond eventually back. When it matures, we pay for it back, right? It's a debt instrument. Then the bank sells it back to the Fed at interest. And the Fed takes that bond and says, oh, we have a bond that's going to mature someday and somebody's going to pay us. So they move it from the liability to the asset side and say, look, we have trillions of dollars in assets in these bonds. They're investments. There are bonds. They're the debt they issued. It's just a big shell game. This is what Weimar Republic
sure sounds like a big shell game. The whole thing from the very beginning sounds like a big shell game.
You started a corporation and we started selling securities.
We're talking trillions of dollars in monopoly money. Yep. And thank you, Inspector Cates, for this reminder. 2.3 trillion went missing from the Defense Department the day before 9/11. What was that money all about? Where was that going to? Where did that come from? They don't make money. The government makes nothing to make money. They just take it. They take it from us. Where's this money coming from? Oh, they just print more. It's
That's
not
print more.
sustainable.
Pretty much.
We got a worldwide depression coming when everybody realizes, holy crap, none of this is worth what they're saying it's worth. So I pray that it's true. All these rumors that Donald Trump's going to take us back to the precious metals, like we used to have, where you actually had gold-backed currency and so on. I pray that's true. But then I hear people talking about, but it's going to be Bitcoin. Shut up.
Well,
That's not any better. That's worse.
That's worse. Bitcoin is a fiat currency.
Of course.
What is a fiat currency? It's a currency.
It's only worth as much as they say it's worth.
It has no value of its own other than opinion. And
Exactly.
so Bitcoin is that's why on my show, one of my principles is if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Where's your Bitcoin at? You got a coin in your hand that you can hold on to? No, where's that?
Are there bit mines all over the world that we don't know about? Are they going down a mile deep to mine these bits? What the hell? What is wrong with people?
It's just data. And if the power was to turn off tomorrow, there'd be no data.
Right? Good point.
Now, there was a farmer in Tennessee or Kentucky here a year or two ago that uncovered a cache from the Civil War of silver and gold coins. When he was turning the dirt, it popped up. Silver gold coin cache from the Civil War. They had some silver dollars, some Confederate silver dollars in there. Sotheby's has sold one, not of his, the only one they ever knew that existed, for over $1 million. He had like 4 of them. So I know, right? But here's the thing about those silver and gold.
I like to hear things turn out well for farmers and ranchers. Go get them, buddy.
160 years ago, whatever it was, that the Civil War happened, when that was buried in the ground, it was silver and it was gold. And between now and then, the properties never changed. It's still silver and it's still gold. The value may have changed compared to our fake dollars, but it's still silver. It's still gold. It doesn't change. That's what makes the intrinsic value of silver and gold worth something, because no matter what, it's silver and it's gold. It doesn't.
Even silver and gold is only worth as much as what somebody's willing to pay for it. And that's why I love tangible things you can hold. Real estate, fine example. But I put so much money into my house, it doesn't matter how much you think it's worth. It's only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. Well, the same thing's with any kind of precious metal or diamonds or anything.
Well, diamonds are worth less. But I'm serious. If you're going to get into gemstones, a high quality ruby, non-man-made ruby, which most of them you see today is way more better investment than a diamond.
I think that's because there's so much CZ going on around, and people are being fooled.
There's a whole big old reason for that, and I don't want to go down that rabbit trail. But if, for example, we switch to a gold-backed security, a gold-backed dollar tomorrow, what would happen? What do y'all think would happen?
Say one more time.
If they came out and said, we're trashing the dollar bill and we're going back to a gold-backed security, a gold-backed dollar like we had before 1971, like we had before 1964, what would happen to the economy?
It would explode.
No, it would collapse completely.
You think so?
Our economy is built on debt. Everything is mortgaged. You have to deal with that first. So let me follow this scenario out. What I'm talking about. This is a new thought process in my mind. Watching the things that are going on. This is what I think is possible that could happen if we switch over to a real currency. Like the reason we took out Gaddafi was because Gaddafi was going to create a Northern African Union, and their currency was going to be gold coins, which
is what BRICS is trying to do. The BRICS nations.
Which is right? The entire planet is I don't know if they're going to do that or come up with a central bank digital currency type deal. I don't know what BRICS is going to do. That there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but that's just that, conspiracy theories. Nobody really knows. So, but if Gaddafi did it, if he succeeded in doing it, the world's economy would collapse immediately, because everybody, all the center of the world would switch to Libya. And everybody would be trying to get that money because it's real. Okay. The problem with the fiat currency, problem with our government system we have today is it's built on debt. It's built upon debt, upon debt, upon debt. You talk about the fractional reserve banking. You talk about all this stuff. We're massively leveraged on debt. Everything is done by debt. If we switch to a real currency tomorrow, we would have to change that debt to real currency. There's not enough currency. They say that Walmart, that the amount of currency in circulation in the world today goes through Walmart 2 or 3 times a day. Over and over again. How does it do that? Is it dollar bills flowing through? No, it's your credit cards, your debit card. It's all that stuff. It's debt. That's how they do it. And debt built our system. And if we switch to something else, we have to deal with that debt. That debt has to be dealt with one way or another. Okay. So let's just say we get a runaway bond. All of a sudden, no one can borrow any money. And what happens in a debt fiat currency if no one can borrow any money? If everybody's dumping bonds around the world, it'll freeze the bond market, which will freeze the debt market, which is built upon it. And no, your credit cards won't work. You can't go to the bank and get any money. You can't go to the ATM and get any money. Everything just freezes. Sean's saying this is where Nasera Jacera comes in. No, it is not. Nasera Jacera is Yuval Noah Harari. You'll own nothing and be happy. It's a scam. It has to be something else. There is no panacea. There is no going to pay off all the debt. That's not going to happen. There has to be something else. So here's what I think. If that was to happen,
remind me to come back to that.
The market starts collapsing. You have a sell-off. Kim Clement predicted 2008 to 2014, somewhere in there. He predicted the stock market. He says, don't trust but watch 20,000. When the stock market hit 20,000 during Trump's first term, everybody said, all the prophecies come true. I felt in my spirit, God say, no, it hasn't. That's not what I'm talking about. I think it goes the other way. Right now, the stock market just closed. I have it up on my other computer over here, that's how I know. Stock market just closed today. Dow Jones 53,577 is where it closed today. If it goes down to 20,000, that's a huge loss. Evaporating trillions of dollars. But the financial world will freeze up, and a serious recession, if not a depression, would happen. But what Donald Trump's doing in cornering the oil market and cutting things off and changing things in this trade war with Canada, things he's setting up will
taking away their weapons against us.
Taking away their weapons, but not only that, setting up for this event. I think he believes it's going to happen. That's why he doesn't care about the debt. Doesn't care about the $40 trillion debt. Doesn't make a difference because it's going to reset. At some point, it's going to reset. So when this happens, so if we switch to a gold-backed dollar, the economy collapses. But if the economy's collapsed and we switch to a gold-backed dollar, solves that problem. So I think that's what's going to happen. There's another prophecy from Kim Clement that says gold. It says that he has this whole thing worked out and that there's a simple plan that is so simple it can only come from God. And then when his David, which is everybody concedes that's Donald Trump, says he's going to do this, they will laugh at him, but it will be because it's too simple. So I think that we're going to go through. God has already told me we're going to go through a correction. And it's going to be a greater drop than the Great Depression, but it's going to be sharp and quick because Donald Trump has already put in place policies and systems to deal with that quickly. So when was the greatest stock market crash by percentage? Now, if you watch the Patriot Mike show, you're not allowed to answer. When do you think it was, Charlie?
I lived through it. It was on my birthday. It was in 1986.
No, it wasn't.
No. Okay.
Not the greatest stock market crash in history. What would be your second guess?
29.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. My third guess would be...
It was a crash right after World War II. Right after World War II ended, there was a crash. And I think it was Grover Cleveland was the president, and they called him Do Nothing. I think it was Cleveland. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, which president it was. But the stock market by percentage, the largest drop in the stock market history. He did nothing.
Which is what you should do.
And exactly, got government out of the way. It immediately returned, and we had the Roaring 20s. That's what led to the Roaring 20s, is that government got out of the way. Then during the Great Depression was about a third of that drop, but government policy.
That's Herbert Hoover.
Was it
Isn't
Hoover?
Isn't that Herbert Hoover that happened to?
No, I don't think so. I think it was Hoover was after that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Hoover with the Hoover Dam and the Golden Gate Bridge, or no, excuse me, Bay Bridge, San Francisco Bay Bridge. That was Herbert Hoover.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'd love to say that I learned all of this in history about the U.S. history in my public education experiences growing up, but I didn't. None of this was taught.
They don't teach this in school, but they do teach you that it's very confusing to understand what a woman is in school today. So, as long as you get that down.
Even the WNBA can't seem to figure out
it was Calvin Coolidge. I had it. It's Calvin
Coolidge. Okay.
Do nothing Coolidge is what they called him, because he didn't do anything. And it corrected itself.
Look what Obama put us through for 8 years, trying to do everything. Same with that idiot that everybody just idolizes, Roosevelt, not Teddy. Teddy's one of my heroes. The other one, that socialist, prolonged the Depression until World War II came along. He prolonged it.
We were still in
shovel-ready jobs and all that crap, taking our tax dollars and paying it to people to put them to work. It was self-perpetuating, just made it worse and worse and worse. And that's what these morons do.
We were still in a depression during World War II.
Yeah, we were.
We did not end the Depression. They were still rationing all stuff until the 50s, when the Republicans took the House, the Senate, and the presidency and put a bunch of austerity measures in and cut a bunch of the government spending, got rid of a bunch of the largest, and
my boy Eisenhower
government out of the way. And
one of the most underrated presidents in our history.
And then we had the longest expansion of our economy in the history of the world during the 50s, 60s, and into the 70s till Jimmy Carter got in office.
Which was one of the stupidest things my fellow Americans have done in the history of electing presidents. What a dumbass decision that was. We got a long history of that, don't we? Hello, Spike. Well, my dog just came back in.
The good news is that they destroyed all the muscle cars in the 70s because of the gas lines, and we went to all them little tiny rice buckets. That's the
good just yet one more thing I can blame on Nixon. What the hell what good thing did Nixon do? That's another fine example of the American.
The funny thing about Nixon is he really was a good conservative, but he had no balls, and he was forced into a lot of things that he did. That's the problem.
Okay, like taking us off the gold-backed currency. Like taking us off that. You think that he actually thought, "Oh, this is a fine idea"?
Well, he was forced into it.
By whom?
By the powers that be, the same people we're dealing with today. The fiat currency made the banker rich. Taking it out. See, often you can't do fractional reserve
so many dumb things. Opening up trade with China. They're a closed society. They don't want to have anything to do with the rest of the world. Leave them that way. What, we're not doing well enough without them? We got to invade China and force them to like the way we are. Leave them alone. Why did Richard Nixon think this is going to be a good plan? Look where we are now because of that. Probably would have happened eventually anyway, but
you remember back in the 90s when we had Clinton running for president and you had Bush Sr. running for president, and he was talking about NAFTA, and he had Ross Perot, John Second Sound, John Second Sound, gonna suck all the jobs right down to Mexico. Just gonna have this John Second Sound. He was wrong. The jobs didn't go to Mexico. They went to China.
Right.
No, they didn't go to
China and to Mexico.
He had it figured out. He just didn't have it exactly figured out.
His geography was a little off.
Right down there to Mexico. And then you had Bill Clinton come around. Bill Clinton was running to the right of George Herbert Walker Bush because George Herbert Walker Bush was actually a leftist communist. And he's going out there. No new taxes. We're not going to tax anybody. I'm going to do my very best. My very best.
It's the economy, stupid.
It's the economy, stupid. You just got to know that's the problem right now. That the Republicans just want to throw grandma off the cliff.
Just another fine example.
And we're going to fix it. And then when he gets in the office, you remember? He gets in the office, and about 6 months into his first presidency, he goes, I tried everything I could do. We looked and we counted and we did everything we could do, but I just can't do it. I just can't. They left us with such a mess that I'm going to have to raise taxes, and we just can't do it. We just can't do it. Remember that?
George H.W. No, read my lips. No new taxes. Oh, by the way, sorry, we're raising the taxes.
Yep.
It's just again and again.
He was the first president that openly spoke of the New World Order.
Yes, he did. And I was watching that speech. And I said, what did he just say?
And Clinton and the Bushes and the Obamas are all one bird. Well, they're all buddies. They've all known each other. They're all their lives.
Yeah.
They were all put in there to do what they did. They were going to bring down and destroy America. And that's what Canada's trying to do right now. Here's what they're trying to do. Glenn Beck was talking about this. The same thing that the Iranians are doing. They've all got this metric. That if they just wait till November that's why our Republicans that control the Senate haven't passed the SAVE Act, because we just wait till November. We just hold out till November. We can get the House and the Senate. But I'm telling you, God says that's not going to happen. Let me just point out to you that just with the redistricting that's happened, like in Missouri and Florida and Texas. And Tennessee and other states, just with the redistricting, even with California redistricting and adding a couple Democrats and a couple other states doing the same thing, a couple states got their butts kicked because they didn't do it the way their law said they had to do it. But anyways, we're looking at 19-ish seats in the House. Net positive for Republicans. And then with the Supreme Court ruling the other day, we're looking at anywhere from another 20 to 30 seats in the House.
You said this before. I pray that it's right, because that will change everything.
It's absolutely right. It's going to happen. I know the one in Missouri is going to win for sure. And the ones in Texas are going to win too. The races aren't close. They're BS polls. The president came out and tweeted or truth this just today. They're BS polls. They're not accurate. They're lies. 100% lies. And you want to know who knows it's a lie? There's a reason Hakeem Jeffries went and sat down with Kushner. Because he knows it's a lie. It's a lie. The polls are telling them. Their internal polls don't lie to them. They know what's coming. And you see, they got to overcome those seats, and there's not enough. We're looking at a 20 to 50 seat raise of the majority in the Republican Party. And I'm not even talking about the fact that the Supreme Court just ruled that Donald Trump can go ahead and use the U.S. Postal Service to make sure that our mail-in ballots are secure. I'm not even talking about that.
Thank you, Lord, for that. That is amazing that happened.
They know what's coming. They're lying to you. They're putting on a happy face. They're surrendering to the Democratic Socialists of America. They know what's coming. Here is Hakeem Jeffries. So Hakeem Jeffries and Jared Kushner met the other day. Oh my God, they met. What are they talking about? Oh my God. And I looked. Sunday night, Monday, I looked for a report on what they talked about. There was nothing. All kinds of. I said on my show today, here's what I found.
The only thing you're reporting on is how the left are livid with Hakeem Jeffries for doing it.
Yeah. Well, here we go. What did I find? I found something. So here we go.
Good.
Here we go. Hakeem Jeffries talking about the meeting. I haven't even listened to this all the way. Let's see what he says.
Let's do it.
What's up, y'all? Just finished up an event here in the community in Brooklyn. I want to give you a little real talk on this Jared Kushner situation. He asked for a meeting, and I took it to discuss the affordability crisis that exists that is not a hoax. At the same period of time, I shouldn't have to say it, but
let me touch on that.
No one is going to get a pass We're going to hold every single member of the Trump cartel accountable.
Cartel.
Beginning on day one. If you're stealing from the American people, shortchanging the American people,
like you've been doing all your career
over the American people, you're going to
like
be
at Leering Centers.
Like the Leering Center.
You're going to follow the facts, apply the law, and be guided by the Constitution.
Okay, tough guy.
On day one, and hold the crooks accountable.
Okay, tough guy. All right. A little posturing there.
And that's what we've done as House Democrats from the beginning of this Congress.
Rape America? Is that what you've done?
Administration on tariffs. Battle them on Medicaid. Battle them on Epstein. Battle them on nutritional assistance.
Oh, yeah.
Battle them on the Affordable Care Act.
Battle weary.
Them on the reckless war of choice in Iran. Battle them on funding, and battle them on the unprecedented corruption unleashed on the American people.
Jimmy Carter started that war.
And we've delivered results. Pam Bondi is gone. Kristi Noem is gone.
Oh, you had something to do with that, did you?
Getting started.
You're just getting started. Okay. All right.
Affordability crisis in this country is very real. It needs to be dealt with. I hear about it every day. In a community in Brooklyn and all across the country, wherever I may be, people are drowning in this failed economy.
Smell like pork.
Demanding action. We have a responsibility to deal with the fact that life is too expensive. Far too many people are stressed the F out when it's time to go to the grocery store, pay the rent, or put gas in the tank. That's crazy. That should not be happening in the United States of America, and we have a responsibility to address it. And that's what we intend to do.
You notice he didn't say anything. Like I said, I hadn't watched it all the way through. He didn't say anything about what the conversation with Jared Kushner was.
Could he get a smaller cap to fit his fat head?
Well, you know, that's how the hood. That's not how they wear their caps here in Missouri. It's kind of how you wear your cap in Missouri. That's how the hood wears their caps. You know, it's all flat like that. But anyways, so let me talk about on the affordability stuff.
Okay, I'm going to go away for a second because my dog just pushed the door open and my mom's got the TV blasting in the other room.
Okay.
I'm not at home. I'm visiting my mom. I'll be right back. Hold on.
So let me talk about the affordability. So here's the affordability crisis. Again, we have a fiat currency, and I've talked about this on my show many a time, that inflation never goes down, it only goes up. The problem is that it went up fast during the Biden administration. Inflation over the last 2 or 3 months has been a net negative. You didn't know that because they haven't reported it. But the GDP has gone down, and this July and June were net
it's not
negatives.
apparent because prices haven't come down dramatically on things that we need so desperately. And I think that's a lot of it.
That's what I'm getting at. The price never goes back down. Now, your eggs will fluctuate, your beef will fluctuate, the milk will fluctuate, but the price goes up. What's causing the net negative is that nobody's buying your consumables. We were in Walmart in Kansas City. Where were we? We were St. Joseph. We were in Walmart in St. Joseph, Missouri here the other day when I was dropping my daughter off at college, and they had 1,000. Is it right? 1,000-inch? No, 100. What is it? 100-inch TV? What is?
No. Wow, that's gigantic.
Yeah, it was 100-inch TV.
Wow.
And this thing was it stood taller than my wife and the two girls that were with us. It stood taller.
That's hilarious.
And this thing was huge. It was $695.
That was it. Yeah.
That's it. And that's because nobody's buying that stuff because they're too busy trying to buy milk and all this other stuff. And
I mean, that's 6 tankfuls for my truck.
The problem with inflation is it only goes up. The Fed during the Biden administration was saying they were trying to reach the 2% inflation rate magic number. What does that mean? That means you lose the value of your savings, you lose the value of the dollar in your pocket by 2% every single year. Now, if you put that into a calculator and compound it, you lose most of your money by that time. But but in 10, 15 years, most of the value of your buying power is gone. So inflation never goes down. It only goes up. It went up massively during the Biden administration because of all the spending they were doing, all the printing of money they were doing, giving out money to everybody because of the Rona. So when Trump comes along, everybody says, the prices aren't coming down. The prices aren't coming down. My God, what are we going to do? The prices aren't coming down. They're never coming down, ever. It's not going to happen. This is the new floor. It's not going to happen. It's never coming down.
I put thought into this during the COVID shutdown. There were many companies that were teetering on absolute disaster. They barely hung on, and now they're trying to recoup a lot of those losses. Exxon came right out and said that we've got to recoup what we lost so much.
Yeah, they got.
I don't know how true that is, but I'm just that's a reality, though, isn't it?
Exxon's making a lot of money right now, but nobody gives a rip. You got to understand. So the oil right now is $80.50 a barrel. By the way, there's a whole strategery Donald Trump's doing right there too. But at $80 a barrel, they're making pretty good money. But they make money at $40 a barrel too. They make money at $39 a barrel too. So
yeah, of course. It's not like they're manufacturing this stuff; they're just extracting it out of the ground. Of course, that's not all that cheap to do.
Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Venezuela, all the other oil-producing countries at $40 a barrel losing money. We're very efficient in our country. The rest of them are not.
Interesting.
But let me tell you what this $80 bill. You notice how the highest it got in the beginning of the war was about $120 a barrel. Do you notice? I've seen a pattern. So Donald Trump bombs the snot out of them, right? Oh my God, panic. Oh my God. Oil goes up to about $92, $95 a barrel. Donald Trump goes, okay, I'm going to stop bombing, give them a chance to negotiate. The oil price drops down to about $75 a barrel. All right, let's bomb the crap out of them again. Oil goes up to about $90. Okay, we'll stop bombing. He's playing the market. He's keeping the market from overheating.
He's been working them.
And that's what's going on.
Unfortunately, they're all about the long game. They know if they can just wait it out, that they're quite convinced that if they can keep oil prices high and keep us paying a lot of pain and unable to grow and thrive because of fuel prices, that we'll all vote against Trump and all the Republicans come this midterm election. I think that's what they're trying to do. Why they've been doing this. Oh no, we'll negotiate now for a while. Because they don't care about their own people. They don't care about their own people.
Well, and that's true, and that's what the Democrats. Everybody's waiting until this midterm election. Let me tell you something. It's going to be wholesale slaughter in the midterm elections.
I hope you're right. I pray you're right.
Because we're going to have, and what's already starting to happen. We got Eric Swalwell come out now. They raided him as he was leaving the airport, took his cell phones, laptops, and all this stuff. What's with the laptops?
They did a Mike Lindell on him,
and so. And everybody's talking about that he's being accused of raping a couple of women, which is probably true. Oh, there goes my Facebook page.
You said the rape word. You said the R word.
Darn the luck. So but that's not what they're doing here. I'm sorry, that's not what's going on. That's the cover story. It's about espionage. It's about Fang Fang. It's about all the stuff. And this is going to wrap up a bunch of other people, by the way, because what he was doing with Fang Fang is he was sleeping around with Fang Fang, me love you long time and all that, and they were putting staffers, Fang Fang approved staffers in other congressmen's offices. What do you think they were doing? Did you know that there's no security or background check on the staffers of congressmen?
Yes. I did not know before. It just assumed that was going on because it makes sense. But no, I was stunned to learn there's no vetting.
None. None. So here's the thing.
Well, it's not just interns, staffers that we're paying.
So those you go and you watch a hearing where they're discussing classified information. Okay, we're going to convene we're going to go into the closed session and talk classified information. And behind the good congressman is sitting two pretty little girls right there. That's his staffers taking notes. They are privy to the classified information. Well, golly gee, I wonder why Fang Fang wanted him there. Okay. So I'm saying this stuff is going to come out. Also, 8 million. Everybody's all Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files.
It's funny now. It's like a punchline to a comedy now when I hear these idiots squealing about that still.
Right. And 8 million files have been released. But I happen to believe that there's an extra burn bag they're going to find, that they called through them files and pulled this one out and pulled that one out and pulled that one out and put them over here to go into a burn bag or something. The golly Shazam about October 15th. Did you know that Senator so-and-so and Congressman what's-a-face did with the little children down at the Epstein Island? Look, we got 8x9 colored glossy photos right here. I think that's a possibility.
Let's go to the video.
That's right. Let's not. I don't want to know. But but that's not the worst of it. We're going to get the stuff off of Anthony Weiner's laptop.
Yes.
We're going to get the stuff off of Hunter's laptop, which is going to come back up. That's why Hunter's out there trying to discredit it. It's why all of
and Tucker Carlson's helping him.
Because Tucker Carlson has always been who he is, the Patriot mythology insurgency. They were put in place to do what they're doing. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of them. We're going to find out that those people, we already did. I've already talked about it on my show. Tucker Carlson's business partner is in cahoots with the Muslim Brotherhood out of Turkey. And we're going to find out. There's a reason why right now Data Republican Small R, who I've used as a source, who's put so much stuff out there, there's massive hit pieces on her right now, because and who's attacking her? Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Political, everybody. It's an operation. They're trying to take her out. There's a reason why, because she's got all of the data. She's put it up on her website where you can go through and find out where every single dollar of the USAID went. Who got what? She's also traced down all the money in Act Blue. This is what she does. She's autistic, but she's a savant. Her expertise is writing AI software to search through numbers and create and find patterns. That's what she does.
And this is who?
Her name is Data Republican. You can find her stuff on X. I've talked about her many times on my show. And they're totally.
I've never even heard about this person until just now.
She's been working with Doge. In June, she was hired by the Defense Department to do research, and that's why they're taking her out. Because
it would have never happened during Biden, that's for sure. Who's taking her out?
The right, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, other media personalities trying to take her out. Why? Because she's got the beans. She's got the goods. This is why they did the Nick Shirley Act in California. This is why Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have both attacked Nick Shirley. Because he's
I did not know. Of course, I don't watch them anymore, but I did not know that.
The question that I have, there was and I got attacked for it on X when I asked the question. I got Allie Mc, what's her name? Mc I don't remember her name is. Anyways, she questioned
show? Ally McBeal?
No, she questioned. So they just ended 1.2 million dead people collecting. I can't remember if it was Medicaid or not Medicaid. It was Social Security retirement. That's what it was. 1.2 million people that were older than 160 years old receiving. And I said, where was that money going? And of course, the response I got on X is, just because they were there doesn't mean they're receiving money. Then why the hell were they there? And here's where that I want to know. I want to know what bank account that money was going to, because here's what's happened. There was 1 million earlier. Doge found 1 million people receiving. This is legit, receiving salary as an employee of the federal government that didn't exist. You remember back when Elon Musk said, if you're an employee of the federal government, you have to receive this email and you have to respond to it?
Basically, reapply. You have to reapply for your job.
That's what that was about, because the dead non-existent people couldn't reapply. That's what that was about. So just in those two right there is a couple of million people. If you're getting $80,000 a year as an employee or $50,000 a year as Social Security retirement, and it's 2 million people, how much money is that? And I want to know which Cayman Island account that's all going to, and then being funneled back up in $10 straw donations to Act Blue from a little old lady that lives in a trailer park out in Mojave in California. How the hell did that happen? It's living off of $29,262 a year in Social Security. She said, yeah, I made a donation back in 1962 to the Democrat Party for $5, but I've never done it again. But turns out she paid $179,000 last 2 years. How'd that happen? That's why they're going after. They're pressing charges against James O'Keefe in it's Detroit. They're pressing charges because he went in and tried to pose as a Muslim. It was Minnesota. Tried to pose as a Muslim to go vote and because in Minnesota, if you're a registered voter, and he gave the name was Eminem, the rapper. That's the name he gave. And brought 4 or 5 people with him. And because you could, if you're a registered voter, you could vouch for up to 8 people. So he vouched for these Muslim people to go vote. Well, he never filled out the paperwork. He got to the point to fill out the paperwork, and none of them did. They left. Well, they want to charge them with a crime. Why? For exposing the fraud. All that we've got one side trying to charge everybody for exposing the fraud. We got the other side exposing the fraud. I'm telling you, that get ready. September is going to be wild. October is going to be worse. We're going to have the October surprises of all surprises. It's going to be shocking. Eric Swalwell's taken out. He's gone. He's no longer in office. I don't think there's going to be an
election, buddy. I don't think there's going to be. I think it's going to be postponed.
I don't think
because
it's going to be
postponed. There's and talking about shutting up the investigative reporters, that moron. Governor Newsom, Governor Hairdo, signed it into law, the Stop Nick Shirley Act, AB 2624. And
which
this is
will end up being thrown out by the Supreme Court eventually.
Yeah, but the damage will be done. You don't understand. They're attorneys, Mike. They're attorneys. They don't have to. They don't have to sway everybody. All they have to do is sway the jury. The jury in this case are people like you and me, the ones who go after these fraudsters and go after these crooks, cheats, liars, frauds, wicked demons, and we expose them. Ephesians 5:11, be no part of the works of darkness, but instead even expose them. That's what powers me, and I know it does you too, Mike. And Nick Shirley, thank God for him. So tomorrow at the Capitol building in Sacramento, if you can make it, it starts at 11 a.m. That's when the event booths start. The press conference is going to be 12:15. It'll go about 30 minutes. Call to action at 12:45. They're going to have all these guest speakers. Nick Shirley will be there. Steve Hilton, running for governor of California. Michael Gates, running for attorney general. I pray he wins. Senator Tony Strickland. Assemblywoman Alexandria. I can't read her last name there, and I don't know her personally. David Tangapa, who's an assemblyman out of the Fresno area. Pastor Jack Hibbs, fantastic. Ramin Akhtar is going to be a guest speaker. Max Bonilla, who I've had on my show many times. This is all happening tomorrow. If you're anywhere near Sacramento, show up at this. We need huge numbers of people at this event. Great guest speakers, and it's all to scream and shout about what has happened. That piece of crap that over half the people allegedly of California put into office for yet a second term, the worst governor this state and this nation has ever known, signed that into law. The Stop Nick Shirley Act is now law, where they will jail people like Mike and me. They will fine us up to $4,000 per infraction. They will force us to take down content. This is insane. What a complete direct attack against our First Amendment. And these idiots have pushed it through and now signed it into law. It's a done deal.
Yep.
We're showing up tomorrow to let our voices heard, and we need thousands there at the Capitol building in Sacramento. Please, if you're anywhere near there, come join us. Park in a garage, stay off the street, because there will be protesters there too who hate us because we're daring to say we're standing up for our First Amendment rights. This is insane what's happening in California. And as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation, my friend.
I'll be there in spirit. I won't be there physically.
I know you won't. I know you won't. But if you're anywhere near that area, we need you tomorrow. We need you so badly.
Let me tell you this.
Lord willing, I'll be there.
I talked about just the redistricting and just the court overruling that you can't make districts because minorities. The other thing that I expect to happen, you got the post office now that's going, your mail-in ballot has to match somebody on the list that is an American citizen that has the right to vote, or the post office won't deliver it. That's going to really mess up their plans.
Yeah, thank God for that.
I think that Donald Trump is going to do some sort of executive action soon.
He's going to have to, because nothing's been done about the cheating in these states.
And the executive action, he laid the foundation a couple of weeks ago when he had that speech where he pointed out that the Chinese were involved in our elections. He's laid the foundation for it.
The one the two networks didn't even cover.
Yes. An executive order on national security to secure our elections that will have National Guard. Now they're very, very. Why do the Democrats keep saying we can't have ICE, we can't have ICE, we can't have ICE, and they're also saying we can't have National Guard, we can't have National Guard at the polling places? Why do they keep saying that? I mean, what difference would it make if ICE is at the polling place? Right. There's not supposed to be any illegals.
Won't hurt anybody.
That's right. But anyways, having National Guard at the polling places,
nothing to worry about.
Paper ballots, one-day voting, the whole works, and having National Guard secure the elections and count the ballots. I think this is where it's going to go. And if that happens, we're really not a 49-49 nation, which the polls are trying to tell you. And we're just arguing over the 2%.
No.
We are a 75-25 nation. Most people, you say it's out in California, you get the anecdotal evidence that everybody you talk to is against this stuff, except for the people that live in San Francisco downtown and LA downtown. If we have actually secure elections, it's going to be a landslide. It's going to be ugly for the other side. You know, Donald Trump's already cut off all their money. Somebody's commented that they're broke. That it is true. They had to hawk their building, the DNC national headquarters. They had to hawk the building to get money to pay the bills.
It's hilarious. They still haven't paid for their convention in 2024.
And the RNC says they have like $140 million. And Donald Trump came out the other day and said he had $850 million of his own war chest that he was going to use.
Why is the RNC not spending any of that money, by the way?
Because
why are the races going where the left and the socialists
because the money's going to get spent. But the reason is because there's still a couple primaries left. Once that's all done, Donald Trump's going to have a midterm convention, which is nobody ever does. And that's
no, and I love that he's doing it, but they're also charging a tremendous amount of money to go. So I had to say no. I wanted to go to that. I was like, this is unprecedented. This is awesome. What a great idea. Oh, it costs how much to go?
Well, that's capitalism, supply and demand, and that's how you limit how many people can come in there. Is you put a price point on it that you have to really be committed to go to. So there is that. That's part of it.
Well, I can't.
I have no desire to go. I'm not in charge of all that. So
I want to go. I would love to go.
I have no desire. I just get
no
mad
money.
at some of them. But so they'll start spending that money probably here in middle September, right around that convention, and then it's going to go gangbusters. But I'm telling you, the Democrats don't. We're not in the country that they think that we're in. It's going to get ugly.
Right. I hope.
And like I said, the October surprises are coming. There's gonna be things revealed. We're gonna learn some stuff we really didn't want to know.
Oh, I want to know.
No, I don't. I don't need to know who JT Alfred down there in Texas. I don't need to Alfred E. Newman. I don't need to know who he's really sleeping with. I don't need to know. Anyways,
okay, I got you.
You know who I'm talking about?
Tallarico.
Yes, JT Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting short on time.
Talk about demonic.
We're getting short on time, and I've got a video. I didn't play it on my show today because I just found it. So you know that chick that strangled her babies to death, and all of these people are running around saying, "Oh, I want to be just like her." Woo! It's just ridiculous, crazy. I had postpartum depression. I wanted to kill my kids too. Woo! Celebrating death. It's amazing. Well, there was an interview, and this feminist just absolutely lost her mind. I mean, she absolutely loses her mind live on television. You got to see this. I got to get this before we end the show, because
this is Lindsay Christie, right? Was that her name?
Lindsay. I don't remember her name.
Crappy woman who murdered her own 3 children.
Strangled her children to death.
While she's strangling each one of them, she's saying, "Go to God, baby. Go to God."
Yeah, it's just horrible.
That's your postpartum depression? You can't control that?
No, it's demonic.
Listen, it is demonic. You're absolutely right. Go to God.
But we live in a
baby.
society where we tell our women that you can kill your baby up to they just signed in Maine. We can kill your baby up until it's born. So what difference?
No, that was Massachusetts.
Was it Massachusetts? Yeah, one of the states. New Jersey just signed another bill that says you can't pray outside of abortion clinics. So we live in a society that tells young women that it's honorable and the right thing to do to sacrifice your baby to Moloch.
Like Bill Clinton, or like Rush Limbaugh wrote in his first book, it's making life disposable.
Yep. So what?
He was right. And that was 30 years ago. He was
right.
What
difference does it make if you kill the baby in the womb or kill the baby out of the womb? It's just killing a baby. What difference does it make?
Right.
And you should have that right. But watch this. This is insane. This woman right here, you can already see it on her face. She's not happy. Watch this.
They should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Quiet.
They should be commended. They didn't kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering. These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why they're
waiting for a murderer?
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
couldn't care less. She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this happened.
So she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that
I would have pushed her.
Some psychosis. They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. This was an incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. Ran away and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins.
What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
He's not. Okay.
Why? Because it's true.
You clearly don't care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have a woman sat next to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply about this. I've seen weddings.
So we need to have
Amen.
Talk to your women and find out
difference.
What are they thinking? They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think
insane.
anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she went through and how she.
I know many women that this has happened to. No, they did not kill their children, but they also, what you failed to.
Well, they should be commended
quiet,
because they did.
please. I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their
misogyny.
children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering.
I'm done.
And at this point, she storms off the stage.
I wish she would have stormed off about 5 minutes earlier. Who is that dude? He's my new hero.
I don't
He's
know.
completely
Who
right.
It's GBN News, GBN News, or CBN News. I can't tell. Anyways, doesn't matter.
CBN is Christian Broadcasting Network.
Well, it may be
that's not
GBN
them.
Global, GBN News. It's a G. GBN News. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is, she's a nut job. I feel sorry for her husband or girlfriend, whichever the case may be. Just don't have any kids, woman. Just don't.
Yeah.
It's just that way. So here's another thing. I don't have the video queued up, and I tried to play the video on my show, but I couldn't find it. And I found it, but then I don't have it queued up. But there's a video out there of a woman explaining the reality that's happening in the courtroom. I have another one with a news reporter. I played that one. But
in the Lindsay Clancy case?
In the Lindsay Clancy case,
okay.
During questioning, they were asking the husband about the medication because it was the prosecution asking the husband about the medication. They're saying that she's getting this medication from this. She's getting this medication for that. She's getting this medication. Oh, she was over medicated. That's why she did all this stuff. She goes, on such and such and date, she got a prescription for this particular mind-altering medication. Do anything about that? He goes, I don't know. He wasn't an expert. And the dad asking the dad, she goes, she's taking 2 pills out of this, throws it down, picks up another one. So the same. She's taking 4 out of this one, throws it down, picks up another one. She's not taking any out of this one, throws it down, picks up another one. She wasn't taking medicine. She had it prescribed. She wasn't taking it. Also,
it's like antidepressants or something.
Yes, and now the defense's case is built around she was criminal. She was not sane at the time because of all of the meds she was on. She wasn't taking the meds.
Wasn't taking the meds.
So I got a theory on that. But the other thing that was said, the other thing that was played in the jury. Played for the jury and for the witnesses there. This reporter reported on this. The judge impounded that and said it can't be put out to the public at all. Was the 911 call when the dad came down the stairs and found his children on the. She said, I will never forget the sound that came out of that man. That's what she said. But let's go back to the drug things. They're building a case that she was on all these drugs prescribed by professionals, and that's why she lost her mind. But the prosecution is saying she wasn't taking the pills. So you know what that is? That's premeditation. Because she went out and got the drugs so that she would have the excuse to say, oh, it was the drugs that made me do it.
Interesting.
Prearranging the defense.
Interesting. There's something else too. She claimed she heard a voice telling her to offer.
I wouldn't have. I mean, this demonic. She said a deep, vibrant voice that she couldn't get out of her head, and she was compelled to do it.
And they asked her, whomever it was doing the questioning, was this an audible voice or was it like in your head, in your mind? What was in my mind? Why are people doing this? Why is this so prevalent? And why are there people out there celebrating and championing her?
Because the same demonic spirit that was in her that made her do it is the same demonic spirit that in these people. If any woman, don't come at me. I don't care. Any woman says to me, well, I just might kill my children. That you ain't worth a crap as a mom. You know, my first wife.
Mike is talking about something that actually happened, by the way. I think you should tell that story.
Which story is that?
That one you just said.
In the chat
you
room.
Said I could see doing it.
I posted it. I clipped my video from last Friday. Many of you who watched my show saw it emotional at the end, talking about it. I hadn't covered any of this case until last Friday, and I gave my opinion because I can't do the children stuff. It really bothers me. I just can't do it.
Me too, obviously.
So I did the thing, and then I clipped that. And I posted it yesterday on Facebook, and somebody commented and said, I'm one of those women. I'm one of those women that had postpartum depression, and I don't think you should be talking about. You don't know. You don't understand. To which I responded, you would kill your kids? You're one of those women that would kill your kids? She says, well, hopefully I wouldn't kill my kids.
Hopefully.
To which I responded, that tells me an awful lot about you. That's all I said. Hopefully. Let me say this. My first wife.
These are the same people who love to be revered every Mother's Day, where they try and turn it into a month-long celebration. And there's nothing greater than a woman's love. My response is always the same. Really? Tell that to the crack baby in the dumpster behind the apartment complex. About how there's nothing greater.
listen to this. My first wife was a piece of work. Met her in high school. I joined the Army because she got pregnant. Someone had to pay for it. There you go. 18 years old, young and dumb and full of. Anyways, so I had 3 children with her, and we got divorced. Anyways, she was a piece of work. She was a piece of work. I'm not going to get into all the dirty details, but she could make a sailor blush, and she probably did make many of them. Anyways, she
or flush at least.
Yes, she. I don't know how many times she'd been married since then. I don't know. I can't keep track of how many boyfriends there were. She worked at strip clubs. She did a bunch of other crazy stuff. She was caught with a brick of marijuana. There were all kinds of things that went on.
While you were married to her?
No, this was after. This was in
right.
This was
Dang.
in the meantime.
Dang, buddy.
And so I'm just saying. But in all of that, she never wanted to kill her children. Never would have came up in all of that. It's crazy. And the things I don't want to say too much on the open air, but you just imagine the worst thing that you can think of a person. You know, the girlfriend of Forrest Gump, Janae. I love you, Janae.
Janae.
You know, that kind of stuff. You know,
yeah.
Janae was a nun compared, but you know, wow. Yeah. But she never wanted to kill her children. That was not part of the process. But nowadays, you got all these women out there protesting, killing, and you know, it's.
What is wrong with women in general, especially here in the United States? Can you please, as a woman in the chat room, maybe offer me up some hope that you all haven't lost your freaking minds? This whole, what's his face? Now suddenly his name escapes me, who killed the CEO of healthcare.
Luigi.
Thank you, Luigi Mangione. He's got like an army of admirers who are in love with him and are championing him, and he's a hero. And then this whole thing with Lindsay Clancy, what the is going on with women?
You got the Robinson guy, you got the Anthony Carmelo guy,
the Tyler Robinson thing. Yes, that nutbag cross-dressing homo momo.
Another theory that I have on this. Again, it's you got the people out there reacting, but you got the patriot mythology, insurgency, and some of the other people out there pushing this thought that this is an orchestrated manipulation, a psyop to get us to distrust the justice system. You know, you've got them out there. You got these judges that are making all these crazy rulings against Trump is part of that. So we don't no longer trust our justice system. You got the DSA out there talking about getting rid of the Constitution. You got them out there bashing the Supreme Court. You got them out there talking about how bad the Republicans and the Democrats are on both sides. So we distrust every level of our government so that these communists can come in and say, this is textbook color revolution stuff that I'm talking about. I think it's intentional. The women standing out cheering and hollering, they don't know what's going on. They're just useful idiots. But I think it's intentional on the media orchestrating level to make us distrust law enforcement, all the ICE protesting and stuff. It's all the same people are orchestrating. We want to distrust federal law enforcement. We want to distrust local law enforcement. We want to distrust local government. We want to distrust federal government. We want to distrust our court systems. We want to distrust our corporations. They want to break that of the American people so that when the DSA gets to a position of power, they can say, okay, we're all communists now. We'll all go along. Well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea because we don't trust what's here now. So we're going to go with these guys.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's going on. You're asking why this is happening. I think that's why this is happening. So
with the women losing their minds and acting like morons.
Well, like I said, they're just useless idiots who have been programmed over the years to react this way. You got to understand, it's just it's the old meme where you just take out one thing and insert the next thing to be enraged about. One thing out, next thing out, one thing out, next thing out, you know. And
Carol, thank you for this. Thank you for this reminder, but I don't know if it says women. The Bible says that women would lose all natural affection. I was just
absolutely does say that. It absolutely
does. It? Because in Second Timothy is talking about men losing their natural affection.
It says it about women too. I don't think the word natural affection is, but it says that women will. It may be that the men get with. Basically, the scripture says the women will go with women and the men will go with men. It absolutely.
Oh yeah, well that's Romans 1. That's Romans chapter 1. Read it.
Says it in Timothy.
That's what got me kicked off YouTube or Facebook the first time. By the way,
was reading the Bible.
Scripture. Yes, exactly.
Go back there and read in Ezekiel where God is speaking through Ezekiel, and he says that is it Ezekiel or Isaiah? It says that that Israel is a she camel sniffing the wind, looking for a male camel. And then it goes and says, "Don't worry, male camels. You don't have to strain yourself. She'll find you." That's God. That's God talking. All these prim and proper Christians going, "It's not right to be talking about stuff like that." Well, God did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I long for the day when I hear a pastor actually preach on Song of Solomon.
Yeah, right.
That'll be fun.
There's another scripture in there, and it's Jeremiah or Ezekiel's right in that neighborhood, and it talks about Obadiah, and his sister Ophaniah. I can't remember, but they're two. They came out of Egypt. One is Assyria, and one is Jerusalem, and they whore around with the Assyrians, the men, the valor, and that look good. You just sell yours. He says you didn't even sell it. You just gave it away to them. And then your younger sister was even worse because she longed for the days when she was in Egypt, when the Ethiopians with their manhood the size of donkeys and their emissions that could fill up buckets, she was lusting after them. That's what it says in the Bible.
I guess I missed that. I don't really read the Old Testament.
You should.
Maybe I should.
There's lots in there. That's in the Bible. You can't. The problem is we try to make everything cushy for Sunday school. That's what I talk about in Esther. With the
the American Christian church is everything but Christian. It's just become a pathetic, sad, ridiculous mess. Eric Metaxas wrote a book about that. I love that. Letters to the American Church. Fantastic. He's absolutely right on.
You know, and you talk about that, Mr. Pastor Lockington was in the chat room. Jeff Lockington.
I saw Jeff in there.
He's got a church where there's a bunch of virtuous women. His wife, several of the elders and their wives, virtuous men and women who do the right thing, just fantastic people. And so they're out there. There's good churches out there that serve God and love that. So, yeah, good times.
There's good times. There's pastors like Jeff Lockington, and then there's Pastor Skinny Jeans. There he is.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Pastor Skinny Jeans.
I've got too much fortitude to wear jeans like that.
And
I bet he sits like Gavin Newsom.
I got more if you want to see him. Here we go. Meanwhile, in California, let's all go to church, everybody.
Yeah, well, those churches are in trouble in this season.
I'm telling you what, man, these clowns have a sauna set aside for them in hell. I don't want to judge anybody's salvation, but dang.
Salt trick jeans.
What was that? Salt trick jeans. Very good, very good. That's
when Dolly Parton was singing about, was it Dolly Parton? So why are you coming in here with your painted on jeans? Wasn't that Dolly Parton that sang that song? What song was that? I don't know. Anyways,
I think it is her.
Yeah, it's. So let me tell you, what song was that?
No. It is a country song, but no, it was not Dolly.
It wasn't Dolly.
Somebody will think of it. Here, I'm a country music DJ.
I know, right?
That sucks. I suck. Apparently, I need some sleep. Speaking of sleep, I gotta go. I gotta be at this thing tomorrow morning, and I still got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Gotta head home early in the morning, and then go to the Capitol building. I'm going to be there all day for this right here. If you can join me at the California State Capitol building downtown Sacramento, the Stop Nick Shirley Act rally. This is going to be an extraordinary event, and we need thousands there. We need it to be so big that the media can't ignore it. We better. I'm telling you right now. Was that Jolene?
No, it's not Jolene. It's why did you come in here looking like that? That's the song. Why'd you come in here?
Okay, I remember that song. Yes.
With your painted on jeans. Well, we didn't know the dudes were going to have painted on jeans in 2026. The pastor. Here's the thing.
As somebody said earlier, that was not on my bingo card. I did not see that.
There's one thing you're never going to see me do as I go out and go in the ministry that God's leading me to. I'm never going to have spiky faux hawk. Never going to happen. Right? I'm not going to have the tight jeans like that guy right there. I'm going to dress like a 55-year-old. I'm not going to dress like a 20-year-old.
What a fine idea.
I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So that's not
nor am I.
This is my hair right here. It's the way it is. This is the way it's going to be forever.
I just put a hat on because I don't even want to mess with it anymore. I'm always wearing a hat now.
So when we go to Scottsdale, it's country themed. I might have to get me a cowboy hat. I haven't ever owned a cowboy hat because I think I deserved one coming from California.
I got a bunch of them. You can borrow one of mine.
You don't have one that'll fit my fat head. Anyways, I need it. I need like a size 9. So it's got a big head. So
Are you really a size 9? That's your hat size?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes.
Mike's a large man. First time I saw him in the airport, first time seeing him in person instead of just talking to him over the radio. I was like, dude. And I'm not small.
People will say stuff to me in the chat room or on the internet in other places that they'll never say to my face. I'm just saying.
No. They saw you face to face. No, they'd shrink right down like a little violet.
And I'm really a nice guy. I'm not like that, but
No. We don't want to be mean, but we have been trained to kill. That's all I'm saying. So tread lightly. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat room. One thing we forgot to tell you about, and I strongly encourage it. As a matter of fact, I already had mine today, but I'll show it to you. I'm taking all this stuff. I'm on the Nueva Life Plan, Nueva, nueva.com. I love this stuff. This is a probiotic. Dude, it's working. At my doctor's appointment yesterday, it was a super nice surprise because normally when you think you're one weight and then you go to the doctor's office and they weigh you and you're like, what? That scale's a liar.
Yeah.
Last time I was in there, it was like 240 something. This time it was 232, and that's the doctor scale. And I was like, what else have I done any differently? Nothing. I'm doing Nueva. So I'm doing this. I'm taking the chocolate sauce that makes your pants fall off. All of it tastes great. It's all natural. It's all made in the United States of America. It's a win-win and double win. Great for your health, for your mind, for your body, for your face, for everything. There's you got nothing to lose. Check it out.
And not only that, but starting tomorrow, look at this. There's $15 off. $15 off if you I gotta pull up big so I can see it. $15 off on a choice pack, which is Slim Body Plus System. So you pick one of the packs, you get $15 off. Or if you get one of the ultimate packs, which has got all the goodies in it, you get $50 off starting tomorrow. That's something they're doing. So since you brought that up, I thought I'd mention it. So
well done. How do I take advantage of these deals?
Well, go to that little QR code on the top of the screen there, and it'll hook you right up. And if you need to be walked through it, I'm trying to get back to because I made my screen big, trying to get back so I can take that off the screen. If you need to be walked through it, just send me a message at patriotmikeshow@gmail.com, 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 and I'll walk you through the process to make sure Charlie gets credit for it. Unless you've already purchased from me, then you're my customer, and Charlie can just suck it. Just kidding. But if you haven't made a purchase yet and you want to try out some of the great products, I'm telling you, I've been taking this since they came out with it in October. I'm down 60 pounds. I feel better. I'm lighter. It's good. I've been taking the Alive, which is the greens. I've been using the Nitro, which is their energy product. And man, that's really good for you. And I've been doing the Revive, which is their electrolyte product. It has electrolytes.
It has electrolytes, like Brando.
Yes, and it's just great. And now they're coming out with a new pack that allows you to choose whatever you want. And the more you choose, they start tossing in free product of your choice. Like you can get the Alive and the Revive and the collagen, and they'll throw in one of these.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's good.
So,
that's good.
And then they're giving discounts on top of that. And they're giving what I just showed you, 15 or 50% off. That it's all tying together. Let me tell you. So Nueva's been around for a year now. Okay. We've had products for a year. We've launched for a year, brand new company, bottom floor opportunity. And now they're branding themselves, and we're branding themselves as the one-stop shop for your health and wellness products. You know, you get your one product from the health food store in town. You get your other product from your friend that sells it online. You get your other product from Amazon. You get your other. Well, now you can come get it all at Nueva. So there you go. And you can make a few bucks doing it if you choose to. All right, I'm done.
And I'll throw this out here. Success breeds success, right? And you're never supposed to just come right out and admit that you're not doing as well. That's why real estate agents constantly lie. Hey, how's the market for you? Oh, I'm doing great. I've never been busier. Liar. But I'm not that guy.
Never lie.
I'm not that guy. I've always been very honest, to my own detriment at times. I don't even have one customer yet. I don't have anybody buying anything from me. And I got a QR code right here that we have on the show every Tuesday, and it'll get you 10% off if you click on that and use that, or you put my name, which is spelled here, CHARLEESIMONS, Charlie Simons, as their promo code. You get a 10% discount. So I haven't even had anybody use my discount or go to my site to buy any of these products. And here Mike is screaming. He's doing great. He's looking at him. He's owning it. He's owning the world. And I'm over here going, what the hell?
Well,
is it me? What is it? Is it me?
Has a handicap because he's kicked off all the social medias, but we can still work this out if you listen to me. But I've helped several people now make several $100s in a month time. And really, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you can do a couple hundred, you can do 1,000. If you can do 1,000, you can do.
Sounds like a lot to me.
4,000. It's just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And the great thing, let me tell you, if you're even considering this, the great thing about this company is once somebody signs up as your customer, they're your customer for life. Every time they order, you get paid. It's like automatic.
Yeah.
Like automatic. It's good.
It is.
I just checked my email while you were talking. I got 2 emails while you were talking that somebody bought product in my team. Customers or somebody.
Great. So. Once again, see, everybody's going and buying from Mike. Oh, well.
A lot of these people are already customers. So
the rising tide lifts all boats. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. We appreciate you so much. And I love reading the comments and in the chat. And it's just nice watching our little family kind of grow. Every Tuesday night, we're here, 5 p.m. every Tuesday night Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and everything else in between, wherever you happen to live. Thank you very much for being a part of what we're doing here and helping us grow and sharing these shows. You can help us tremendously when you share these shows. So I hope you'll do that on your own social media. Hey, these guys are fun. Check them out. You never know. Then we'll get them joining us next week. It's every Tuesday night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern.
Or wherever it is, wherever you are at. That's the time that it is.
Shit, I like that. All right, thank you, everybody. Oh, go to my website, by the way, and buy one of my mugs, would you please? Let's talk about politics and religion. Shut up. You know you want one of those. Of course, it's red.
Pastor Jeff has one on his counter.
He does have one. Big old 15-ounce coffee mug. I love this mug so much. I got that, shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff at charliesimons.com. Okay, if he's selling product and you're not buying from me at nueva.com, then at least maybe you'll buy a mug. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.
Amen.
Charlie and